And we are live.
Finally!
I rule with psychokinetic power.
There is no other society. No. Exterminate. Destroy.
Fanboy Modeling School.
Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am host numero uno, the Fat Mantis, now in HD, and I'm here with my man
Steve, blurry as hell, real name, no gimmicks. I gotta do some stuff real quick.
He had to cover his face because this is a conspiracy episode.
Yeah,
There's some people finding him.
I had to blur it out.
They had to blur it out, but how is everybody today? I want to give a shout out to my man Matt Cat. I want to give a shout out to my man Shaolin Iceboxer. Welcome to the stream. We've got some other people hiding here. They have not revealed themselves, but we love you anyway. This has been a great, amazing day. Of course, we need Steve here so we can mess with him better.
I'm here. I'm just getting the camera situated. Go ahead.
You sound like you're white. Can you be a little louder and angrier, please?
Oh, it's going to be violence tonight.
So for a change, guys, we're going to be talking about race tonight because I don't think we ever talk about that. We're talking about Black Conspiracies as our main topic, but we've got some other things. I want to complain about the death penalty or our lack of using it here in America. And of course, in entertainment news, we have Pee Wee Herman, better known as Paul Rueben, has passed. May God rest his soul. He was an amazing entertainer, an amazing man, a hero of mine. I have a little short story that I'm going to share later on about him. We're losing a lot of greats.
It's true. Bad news. My Elgato light decided to take a shit, so I guess I'll be leaving the main light on tonight. Anyway, moving on. The show must go on.
The show must go.
I will not do this. I won't do it. As you can see, I have my conspiratorial hairdo going on.
And the glasses. It looks like you've been going through paperwork.
Days figuring it out, man. Connecting the dots.
He's got the string. And he's like, Beyonce? And then he's like, a thunderstorm in Jamaica. He's like,
it all makes sense. The beehive.
The beehive, right? Tell me, did you see Swarm?
Is that the one that came out on
that's Donald Glover. That's my man Childish Gambino.
I watched the first episode. Did not make it through the rest. I know how it concluded. I heard it was some people love it and some people hate it, to be honest with you.
I love it. The people who hate it are probably Beyonce lovers, right? They're obsessed with Beyonce. They felt personally attacked by the criticism of the Swarm.
Well, is it criticism when you're just telling the truth?
Right, exactly. Those bitches are nuts.
Yeah,
bitches I don't.
I would think so. Dude, I cannot believe my Elgato light went out like that. So now this is something I'm going to be thinking about. It's crazy. I knew that I jinxed myself because I was like, oh man, Kick worked right off the bat. Got the stream going, no issues. Should have known something else was going to go wrong.
No offense, man. I notice a lot of this high technology that you get seems to be pooping the bed.
Well, see,
we've got a Rhodes Procaster 2 dying on you, right?
Yeah, a lot of Rode shit. Elgato's not Rode, but here's the thing, right, man? I'd rather my highfalutin technology crap out on me after a few years. Like, I've had this light for quite some time. I'll figure out what's going on with it. I just have the over-the-head light right now. I just feel like I'm going to start sweating any second here. I'd rather have that poop out on me than the back alley Chinese technology you buy take out my entire setup.
My Chinese technology follows through, man.
No, you went through 3 mics before you got to that.
Well, in all fairness, the first one was blue, and the
Right.
other two were Chinese. So, so I don't know.
Shout out to the Blue Man Group. We don't mean to disparage you in any way, shape, or form. Honorable mentions, man. Watch the first episode of The Witcher season 3.
It's super controversial. What did you think?
Probably will not be going back.
That's what everyone's saying. That's the controversy. People started watching. They're like, "This is garbage." What was wrong with it?
And this has nothing to do with the departure of Henry Cavill. I'm not a Henry Cavill stan or anything like that. I would have liked to seen him continue on as The Witcher, as Geralt, and I would have liked to seen him as Geralt. See him continue on as Superman, obviously in the DCEU or the James Gunn verse. But it has nothing to do with that. At a certain point, you just got to admit when something's bad, in spite of the fact of you wanting it to be good. And I put on this first episode fully expecting to be like these sweaty nerds that live in the basement or, come home from their day jobs and just become internet sleuths and shit on everything. They're all going to be wrong. I watched it, man, and I was just like, man, this is not good. I'm just like,
Matt Cat says The Witcher season 3 is trash. It's too complicated. I have no idea what's going on.
The reason no one knows what's going on is because it's not following the source material anymore. Like there's some stuff from the source material, then there's some creative liberties. Right now in the beginning episode, season 2 concluded with them seeing the bad guys and the wild hunt and blah blah blah, all that shit. And now, so this season picks up basically with Geralt and
Yennefer,
and
they're like in love now. They're in love.
No, actually, they're estranged. They were in love before, but now it's just like they're, she betrayed him in the last season, and it's a whole thing. But I think
he's got to get over that. He's got to get over that.
I would say so. I would say stop being a beta and tap, right?
Stop being Justin Trudeau about it and freaking get with your woman.
Stop being an Elon Musk supporter about this.
Matt Count also says he only kills like 2 dudes and then brings Yennefer wine as she writes him love notes. That actually sounds like.
And she refers to him as dear friend the entire time.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
you know what woman I'm not going to keep pursuing? The one who ever refers to me as dear friend.
Well, no, when they refer to you as dear friend, you're already friend zone, so there's no need for you to pursue them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's the moment that those words come out of her mouth, I'm walking right the fuck out. I'm taking the wine I brought her with me.
No, here's the thing. When she refers to him as dear friend, she's hoping to be more than friends. It's totally different than what you and I would experience as mere mortals. We're talking about Henry Cavill. No woman like putting him in the friend zone.
Yeah, because they're scared to say like anything above dear friends. So dear friends as good as it gets. Like that's their idea of trying to court a god.
That's all he's gonna accept. So one of the things I took huge issue with right off the bat, man, was just the CGI. This is Netflix we're talking about, right? And I feel as if though I'm watching Deep Space Nine at certain points when I'm watching the CGI. It's that
serious?
bad. Yeah, it's that bad, bro.
Rogue Radio says, I'm late, but I'm here. Hello.
What up, Rogue? What up, Rogue? You came in for a great episode tonight. We'll be getting into, I don't know if they really qualify as Black conspiracies, but conspiracies that Black people love to talk about.
I've got something to say about one particular one that happened to be in the videos because everyone talks about it.
What, the Illuminati?
It's not just the Illuminati, but Beyonce's connection to witchcraft and shit.
Oh, obviously true. That's not a conspiracy.
Yeah,
I think that's got to be true, right?
Yeah.
But that's my honorable mention, man. Don't know if I'm gonna be going back to conclude the Witcher. I really just don't know if I have the power to do it.
It's a shame that like a lot of things are just falling the fuck off. It's driving me nuts.
Right.
So, like I'm watching Star Trek Strange New World, and I have to say I do still like this story. It's still going on. I'm still into it, but this season is not as good as the last.
Yeah, it's been catching a lot of smoke, man.
Yeah. They've gotten a little lazy. They've gotten a little lazy in just one season too. That's what really concerns me. I think Matt Cat did some reviews of it, and I think Matt Cat kind of hates it. Yeah, he hates it more than I do. I'm a diehard. Beyonce being a witch. Yeah, you didn't know this, Rogue? Come on. Shellen says Beyonce is a succubus. She is. She has a connection, and I actually did.
No, shut no slut shaming here. They have their own parade. They're a people group. Right?
Sluts
We're
are
all
not a
the
people
people.
group. I have to tell you. Here's what I'm saying.
They're a people group.
Here's what I can't stand. People misunderstand the idea of like sexual identity as in like LGBT QYAX plus times infinity. That shit
Squared.
as opposed to just having a kink, and somebody's just like, well, I'm a furry, so that's my people group. That's not an identity, asshole. It's
Who
fucking
you-
not. So a
who
slut,
do
just
you
because
think
some girl's
you-
like,
who
I'm a
do you
slut.
think
Us
you
sluts
are?
deserve respect. No, you do not.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You think you can just come on here, shame people for the way they live lives? You Christian fundamentalists, you just fundamental evil person.
I
Which is
love-
usually the response you get in comments, right? Like when you start debating people. On
Right,
this
right.
topic,
As soon as
it's
you say that, they're like,
like-
you fundamentalist hick. You know, whatever. So, yo, I saw the greatest TikTok today. I can't re-find it because it was on some random shit, like a channel I would never watch. I was just randomly watching TikToks, and there's like a college protest, and there's an African student, and he starts speaking about Christianity, and someone cuts him off, and they go, "Yeah, you're preaching for a religion that was forced on you by colonialists."
Wow.
And then he goes, Christianity was in Africa before it was in Europe. They say what? And he's like, yes, he's like, I'm Ethiopian. The Ethiopian Bible
knew you were gonna say
predates this King James Bible by many, many years. And like, they all shut up. Like you could tell, like the liberals didn't know what to do.
Oh,
Yo, Matt Cat says, Strange New Worlds is pure garbage. No, it's not pure garbage. False, brother. Oh, we got D saying, let's go. Yo, D, I heard, everyone, for starters, congratulate Steve for doing his first day on Autolus.
Yo, shout
Spin
out
95.
Spin 95, the home of throwback and backpack and boobop, man. Had a good
Yo,
time.
that's gold. That's the golden age of hip hop tunes on that one, right?
Yes, absolutely. New experience, man. New experience. Had so much fun. I want to thank anyone that showed up and anyone that's going to show up in the future, man. It was a good day. It was a damn good day, bro. Thanks for putting me on.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm sorry I wasn't there for that.
Well, now we're rivals, right? Now we're competing.
Okay, so we have the same time slot. And just to say, if anyone went and visited Steve, they went to the trouble of going to the Autos app, visited Steve's show, but didn't even pop into mine. Well, fuck you. Because I'm right there on Hot 95, which is just a few buttons away. So.
Yo, another honorable mention, man. I don't know, we should get into it. We, as journalists, right, internet sleuthers as we are, Spoon USA released somewhat of a statement on IG the other day,
which had everyone talking. Like you said, you mentioned it to me, and then like I go home and suddenly on my gram, all these people are talking about it. They're posting about it.
Yeah, Spoon posted.
Spoon might be a little more clever than I give them credit for.
They're coming back.
They're creating mystique. Right? People are like,
elaborate. What do you?
Well,
think
here's what I'm saying. Like because here's what it is. I assumed they were just like going out of business in America, and they're like, peace, which they did in other countries. They actually said we'd be back in other countries. They didn't. So I assumed it was over for them. And so now suddenly they're posting again, which means pretty much they have to deliver a fall return.
Right.
And simply by posting now, they're getting people gassed up.
Right.
So people are like, it's really happening. Something's happening. They are going to return with the app. The thing is that they have to make a new app or update the app. Not just a little. You know how they just add one or two things occasionally? They need to have like a truly more sophisticated app, or it's not going to work. If it's the same shit, people are going to sign in and then sign right out.
You know what? That's an interesting take. And I would agree with you, man. You can't leave and say you're going to make an overhaul and not make an overhaul. Like, you have to deliver and bring something new, man. But I belong to a certain Discord group, right? I think I sent you an invite. If not, I'll send you an invite. And I've just been reading about what possible rollouts and all that type of stuff, man. And here's what I think, man. Even if I'm not talking about Spoon, let's say I was talking about Clubhouse. Obviously, I don't need to talk about Beagle Live. because they're actually doing okay. Bigo Live is actually doing okay.
They
Right?
are. Here's what it is. I understand why Bigo Live is doing good, and honestly, if I wasn't a content creator, I would be on Bigo Live every day.
Whoa. Ooh, that was slick what you did right there.
Yeah,
You just
but-
dissed the mother.
But I'm saying I'm a content creator. I look for like a little more sophistication, more than just some ghetto ass shit. So I'm not gonna.
Right.
Damn, you turned into a white man right there.
Go ahead.
Wait, Matt Cat says they said they were gonna do standalone episodes with an overarching story. What's the story this season? This is my problem with Star Trek, that I'm enjoying their little adventures. However, there is no overarching. However, in the first season, it was clear what their overarching story is, and I like that. You know, what else we got? Bex fanboys hashtag fangirls for fanboys, love it, and congrats, Steve. She said,
Hey, thank you, Bexy. Thank you so much.
And then so Matt Cat also says that. Is that fat girl coming back to Spoon? She is definitely coming back to Spoon. So I'll tell you what, Matt. Here's the thing. What's crazy is during my Spoon Annihilation, party that we had on the last night of Spoon, I really wished you had come to that, because she showed up and she did the weirdest shit in my Discord. It was totally bizarre. You would have had so much fun just watching this creature be a subhuman.
Wait, are we talking about the alleged obese person? And that's
Yes.
This is
The
a
person
real
Matt Cat's
person?
talking about.
Oh, I thought this was like an ongoing stick between you two.
No. There's an actual person he is referring to. And so,
Okay.
Matt Cat, now's your opportunity. Here's what I'm saying. If everyone is going back to Spoon, I might be willing to go back to Spoon.
Oh.
I might be willing to go back. But you know what? Matt Cat has to come too.
Ah, interesting.
And so Matt Cat can meet the fat girl.
Okay, so obviously we're not going to use names, but you will tell me off air who the fat girl is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't invite Mantis to that shit show, Steve.
What are we congratulating Steve on? Team Mizzle, Steve's first day at Audilis. Your Music Your Way was today, and so Steve did his first radio show on Spin 95.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Got to be honest, man, it was a change of pace for me, man. A change of pace in a good way, in the sense where it was like, at first I was complaining the entire time when I was recording, and I was like, I can't hear the music, I can't get my vibe on. But then when I was listening to the show today, I was like, wait, I'm listening to the show right now, not in front of my computer, screaming or angry at like whatever is not going right, and everything just kind of went off without a hitch. Like it was like everything was perfectly placed, and I'm so used to doing all the work on everything, when it comes to my own shows, and I was like, oh man, this is super easy.
Yeah, and so I'm a program director for Hot 95, so I am doing all the work, but still I do know what you mean. Like, for the on air, if you're just on air talent, it's the easiest gig you could possibly have.
It really is, man. It really is. And shout out to them, man. It was great. It was a great time, man. If you tuned in, want to thank you. I mean, obviously, I would love to pick my own music, but even that, at a certain point, I was like, wait, I don't have to pick the music.
The stress is off you. And so we'll talk off air, but I'll tell you that I reward DJs who do really good work with personal playlists.
Oh, nice.
I allow them to design their own playlists that only they're going to play on their show, and it's not going to be generated. So I don't know if your program director does that, but we could talk about it.
We'll find out. All right. So,
Shaolin says this creature. You love that I called him a creature.
The bitch from the abyss.
He says, why can't you get the fat girl on the show, says Matt Cat. Why can't we get her on Fanboy?
I don't even know who this person is. But
I'm going to have to check with Steve. I will download Spoon. Can I talk to the fat girl? You should go around to different streams and be like, I'm looking for the fat girl.
I'm looking for the fat girl on.
I'll check it out. Is it every day? Yes. So don't forget to also check out Roy's content. I also have a radio show. I do pop and hit top 40 stuff on Hot 95. They're both on Audilis. And we unfortunately have the same time slot.
Yeah, it's 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. You drive home. You can switch back
drive
before
time.
between me and Mantis, right? Wink, wink, and
Yes.
like you can go from bedroom to bedroom. Just go back and forth.
So the show is not live. We record them first. We pre-record them.
Yes.
I record mine in the mornings, so it's as fresh as possible. There is like modern news and modern concepts going on.
Yes. Mantis is doing the most and the best way possible. Thank you so much, Matt.
Congrats, Steve. I didn't show up, but I'll try to grab you guys sometimes. I downloaded the app, so one step chat. Yeah, definitely. Shaolin
Loli,
says,
welcome in.
the bitch from the abyss. That sounds kind of badass. That's what
Right,
we'll call her, the bitch from the abyss.
Doesn't it sound like a good ska song? The bitch from the abyss.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my god. They're like, this is Bowling for Soup with the bitch from the abyss. Kaloli, wait, what up? Wait, Spoon, where? Yo, you haven't heard like the rumor is not the rumor.
I'll be back.
Spoon-
I got to go to the Bonnier.
Okay, Spoon. For everyone in the drama of the Spoon world, they not tweeted. They put something on their Instagram. They said, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" or something, and so it's an indication that they are coming back. They claim the fall. Let's see when they come back. Let's see if their app is actually new. Because, those guys don't like to spend money. Yes, I've listened to Mantis. He sounds awesome. Thank you so much, T Mizzle. That means so much. He says, out of nowhere. But we've got a pretty great episode going on tonight. We are going to talk about first it was Black Conspiracies. It's going to be general conspiracies, but we're primarily going to be focusing. I'm just going to tell you right now, primarily on Jay-Z and Beyonce, because they are just filled with so much. There's so much to talk about with those two. And so the question is, anyone who has participated in Spoon, that's right, the audio-only streaming app, would you actually go back? Let me know in the chat. Rebeck says, them people said they were coming back. Y'all didn't believe them. I didn't, because you know what? When they closed down their Indonesian servers, and Lamikey has actually took pictures of this, because he used to hang out in the Indonesian server. When they said they were leaving, they said they were coming back, and they just never did. And so when this happened here, he was like, "Oh, they're done."
Wait, are you blaming this whole thing on me?
No. I'm saying Lamikey used to hang out. You know how he goes to other, like, with Spoon, when Spoon was a thing, he used to go to like different country servers.
Yeah.
He used to hang out in the Indonesian one, and when they shut down, they said, "We're taking a break. We'll be back in a couple of months." And they just never came back.
I mean, okay, so they might be proving us wrong. Now, the question is, if they are, in fact, proving us wrong, right? Who's going back? Who's going to go back to the experience? What's going to be different about the experience? What will
what I'm saying. They're only going to keep the old timers if the app is different. If it's the same app, people will be like bored with it. They're like, I waited months for what?
Right.
But if they really revamped it, and you know what? I am gassing myself up right now because I'm imagining the greatest audio streaming app ever.
Right.
And it's going to be nothing, probably. You know when you get excited for something?
Yeah, no, absolutely. My entire life is about being excited about something. I'm a Marvel fan. Wait, how could you ask me I build something up in my head, and we'll see what happens when they come back, man. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about that.
Kaloli says I still don't believe him. Matt says, okay, what about Star Trek Strange New Worlds? What do you like about this season? I mean, next episode is Glee and Space Lame. Okay, so normally I hate musical episodes. I absolutely hate musical episodes.
Wait, that's not true, bro. You love the Buffy musical episode.
I did, and that was when it was like new. But since then, every show has mimicked this. Yo, what is it? Desperate Housewives had a musical episode. That's how crazy it got. Like every CW has had one. It's just getting out of freaking hand.
Right.
And sometimes there's no explanation as to why it's musical. At least in the Buffy musical, there was like an explanation. Like it was like Demon who was making them sing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Magic. Blame it on
Magic. Buffy has it, but like Desperate Housewives, there's no reason those bitches should be singing.
Yeah, they have nothing to sing about. They're a bunch of adulterous housewives misbehaving.
So Matt, I really like the Lower Decks episode. And then I also like that Spock is getting with Nurse Chapel. I've wanted them to hook up for a while. So
wait. So everyone is on this show except for Kirk?
Yeah. No. Not everyone. Not everyone. It's Spock and Uhura, who they were on the show. They were on the ship before Kirk, and then the rest of the cast is different. And then his predecessor, or not predecessor, his mentor, Captain Pike, is the captain.
Oh, okay.
And it's his adventures when or whatever. And so I really enjoy the show. I think it's a good time, but I do agree it's not nearly as good as the first season.
Okay. Are you ready to get into some deep diving? Well, wait, let's get to the obvious stuff first, man. We got a bid the adieu to a legend. I guess, I'm comfortable with calling him a legend, man. Actually, two actors passing today. Obviously, the first being Pee Wee Herman. What's his God-given name again?
Paul Rueben.
Paul Rueben, Mr. Caught in the Theater himself, Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's Playhouse, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and all the other movies in between. Large Marge, that shit scared the hell out of me.
That scared me to this day.
Like,
I swear, if I saw a trucker pull over and it's like, and it's an old woman with gray short hair. Nope. You know how Handyman scares you? That is how Large Marge scares me.
Large Marge is terrifying. But he passed away today, man. And what are your thoughts, bro?
Okay, so he was battling cancer, and so he died at 70. That's a good age. Our lifespans are supposed to be around 75. So that's good. That's fair enough. He almost hit that thing. He lived hard, since I know back in the day he used to do a lot of cocaine, so that might explain the loss of those 5 years. But I think that he is an amazing entertainer, an amazing actor, and just a good dude. And so even if when people are like, he got arrested for exposing himself, my man was at a porno movie and he whipped it out. He's beating off on there, and the cops did a raid. And so when cops are raiding gay porno sites, obviously that is some sort of anti-gay bullshit. He was arrested for anti-gay shit. That's basically what it is. When they say he's exposed himself, it's not like he's exposing himself to children. It's not like he's assaulting anyone. He was in a theater jerking off.
Just for context, it doesn't matter if he was gay or not, right? Like those theaters, whether it be hetero or homosexual, that's what those people went to.
That's what it's for. So how can cops raid it? It doesn't make any sense. It in itself is a trap.
It just does not sound like a safe place to be, though. You know what I'm saying? Whatever gets your jollies off, like group.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I'm trying to kink shame my man.
I'm trying to kink shame. I'm trying.
Here's what I'm saying. It would be weird. I don't understand a lot of celebrities and their kink stuff. Like, I don't understand. If I was a celebrity and I had top dollar, I'm not going to no theater. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm having the highest end gay parties and we're doing it in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying if I was Paul Rueben. If I was Paul Rueben, come on, follow along.
Oh goodness, good lord!
I just don't understand why they do. Like for instance, like Belichick from the Patriots, owner of the Patriots. Why do you go to a cheap, pathetic, like happy ending Asian, massage parlor when you're filthy fucking rich? You could have the most beautiful women flown into your mansion.
But you're not safe if you do that now. Everyone is going to expose you, right? Everyone wants to be the one to expose you. Look what they did to that poor racist son of a bitch that owned the Clippers. That fucking guy. You can have black friends. You can hang out with them. Just don't bring them.
Oh man, they caught him saying every word and every phrase ever.
Was anyone surprised, man? Was anyone surprised? Yeah, man. But Pee Wee Herman, man, like so. When that happened, man, I gotta say it wasn't one of the things that scarred me, because when the story broke about him being arrested for that, I'm not even sure I was old enough to fully comprehend what was going on there, right? I do, however, remember his triumphant return on the MTV Awards when he comes out and he gets a standing O from everyone, because it's like, bro, okay, so yeah, the picture they put up of him of how he looked when that happened, his career was in a bit of a downward spiral at that point. He looked like the Unabomber or a trucker for sure.
Yeah.
But he came back, then he did Blow and a few other movies, bounced back like nobody's business, man. I wish death upon only a few people. He's not one of those people, man. Sad to see him go, man. Hope he found the Lord before he passed.
Yeah.
You know.
Kalali says, Pee-wee passed. His show was hella creepy. Hella creepy, but for a kid is so entertaining. He entertained me as a kid. He certainly entertained me as an adult, as like an actor, as just like a normal actor. And I'm going to tell you like a sweet just memory of him that I have.
Okay.
Olram says, hey, you go to porn theaters, you expect to see a dude's junk.
Exactly, I'm coming in with the philosophical shit. That's right.
And so, guys, the year of Comic-Con, when it was the pandemic, and so Marvel and DC both said they weren't coming, and all the major companies weren't coming, but they were still having Comic-Con. We already bought our tickets. Me and my sister and my nephew go to Comic-Con every year. And we're like, we're going to show up because we're going to show up for the indie comic book companies. We're going to buy indie comics. We're going to have a good time. There's always a good time. And I did that, and I had a great freaking time. But you know who stole the show for that weekend, for that 4-day spectacular?
Who?
It was my man, Pee Wee Herman.
Okay.
So it is, you go to different panels, and one of the panels was, they said a one-on-one with Paul Rueben, and we're like, let's do this. And one-on-one is basically, you sit there, and it's usually there's like somebody, somebody in the business asking them questions. And Paul Ruben's there, and we all fill in the theater, and we're waiting. And he's sitting there, and he's waiting. And he's waiting, and he's like, my interviewer isn't here. And he's just like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, you know what? I'll just tell you guys stories. And he just started talking, and he was just telling stories of the olden days of like doing blow with other actors, crazy shenanigans, times he's gotten arrested for other shit before he was famous. Times he's stolen outfits and costumes from movies. A time that he was doing a movie with Sting, and Sting was bored, and Sting was like, you want to get out of here? And he's like, let's do it. And he made sure to bring Sting to all his favorite gay clubs so that his gay friends would think that he was dating Sting.
Nice.
He had all these insane stories, and he's just a character, and he's making all these jokes, and he's just telling stories the way, like an older, your grandfather, your uncle would tell like war stories from back in the day. Right. And it literally made my entire Comic-Con for the weekend. I would say like best panel was that experience. I really love the guy. I have like a lot of love for him, and it's he died at a normal age in his 70s. Unfortunate cancer.
I hope he didn't experience any pain. What was that movie that he was in, man, with Ben Stiller, man, when they play like reject superheroes? And he's like the flatulent.
Oh, the Mystery Men.
Oh, he was.
Yes, and he has all the pimples and stuff.
Yes, he was great in that movie, bro.
That's so funny because he's in a lot of stuff. People always will say he's Pee Wee Herman, but they forget that he's in a lot of stuff. He's in often and stuff.
And we owe Pee Wee a great debt. If you are a fan of The Matrix, right? If you're a fan of Mo Better Blues, if you're a fan of Apocalypse Now, even though that movie was before Pee Wee's show, he gave a certain little actor his start. Or, his second start in Hollywood, man. Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne, the fucking mailman on Pee Wee's Playhouse. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah.
Can you believe that shit?
It's insane. It's utterly insane. Matt says, I really liked him in Batman Returns. That's right. He was awesome in that. Small role, but he loved it. Yeah. RM says, I want to see Pee Wee's Big Adventure in theaters again. They should re-release it.
They took us to see that shit in school, man. When I was in like grade school, we would go see it in the theaters, man.
Yeah. Kalili says, okay.
Fez.
Not Fez. Yeah, Fez Euphoria, not Fez 70 Show. Now, I don't watch Euphoria, but yes, that young man, 25 years old, died, and I suspect suicide.
Well, his father passed recently within some recent time, and they're saying mental illness. No official report.
Yeah, no official thing. And I remember they said they were like, he's been having a hard time since his father passed recently, and then they don't tell you the reason, and so then I'm like, okay, and that's very similar to Sinead O'Connor. People do not mention why she passed. She took her own. Probably, my speculation is she took her own life.
Really?
She lost her son. Her son died before her.
I did not know that.
Her son died relatively recently. I said relatively, not like just now, but she's been fighting that issue, and she has mental health issues. And then suddenly she dies, and they don't give a reason. And I'm like, I speculate that I think that could have been self-harm.
So just one thing people should know: if a coroner report is ever released and it's ruled as an accidental death, but they somehow relate that to drugs, that's an OD. So when they rule it an accidental death and you've been doing drugs in that regard, you accidentally overdose, and then there's an intentional overdose, et cetera, et cetera. It's a sad thing. Sad. I don't watch Euphoria. I've seen one episode. My wife was watching, and I walked in, and I was just like, "This shit is dark and troubling," and I just walked right out. You know,
I had the same experience. I was like, everyone's a drug addict. Everyone's sexed up. Everyone's getting raped. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. At least Game of Thrones had dragons. This doesn't even have
You put a dragon in the movie,
and I'll just watch anything. But there's no dragon. I'm not sure if I want to see that rapiness.
I'm out of here.
Shaolin says the spleen. That's right. His character on Mystery Men was called the spleen.
Yes, sick bastard.
RM says he was Cowboy Curtis.
Is that the name of the kid that? Wait, what?
No, Cowboy Curtis was the name of the mailman on Pee-wee's Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Such a weird. He had a Jerry curl. I did not understand.
Everything about the show is weird. It's literally like in another dimension where furniture talks to you, and like it was just like
absolutely strange. Absolutely strange.
But yeah, no, crazy stuff is going on. You know, God. You know, may God have mercy on their souls. Rest in peace, guys.
Right.
So do we want to jump straight to Black Conspiracy, or do we want to
wait, did you have something else? Because
I had another topic, and it's gonna be me ranting and flipping out.
Go for it.
So Lori Vallow, you know who that is?
Who the hell is that?
This is the woman who murdered her 2 young children and then went on a Bahamas vacation. Got married.
Feel good topic we're talking about.
Yes, got married.
Oh wait, is this that fat blonde and her husband got? Yeah. Go for it.
And so they murdered these kids. Yeah, they tried to burn their bodies. It didn't work up. They chopped up their bodies, buried them on the property.
Right. Yeah.
They get married by the beach or something. Maybe I think it might be Hawaii, not Bahamas. I might be tripping there on that one. And then people were saying like, where are your kids? Where are your kids? And people keep asking. Her family members were asking. Finally, when they come back to the States, we were like, can you prove that? And she's like, oh, they're with somebody. Don't worry. And the state was like, finally brought them in. And was like, where are your children? And she thought that like the world would just forget she had kids. And so this woman, God damn it, when it's time for sentencing, do you know what she had the fucking nerve to say?
What did she say?
She said that the spirits of her children visited her while she was in prison. And they said that they're happy.
Her?
What? They forgive her and that they're happy where they are.
Right.
And then they're like, it's okay, mommy. There's no reason to worry. And, although the judge would be disgusted at this and throw it back in her face, he's like, you don't even have the understanding to have any, to even like reject this fantasy world you live in.
Right.
And stuff like that. However, I am super disappointed. And obviously this is justice system. I think we're always fucking disappointed. But they gave her multiple counts of life sentences. And I think that is wrong. And so I'm about to bring up a point for the death penalty.
Woo!
A little light topic here on Fanboy Modeling School, guys. Kill the bitch. Kill the fucking bitch.
No, I do not disagree with you, man. You mess with children, old people, and hey, just a little sidebar since we're talking about feel good topics. Yesterday was Mrs. Holdup's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Santana.
Thanks for that, bro. So,
oh, wait, what?
Yesterday was Mrs. Holdup's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, we went out, got something to eat. And like any parents, we pulled up to our house after our adult time, eating without people screaming. Looked in the house, seen them doing backflips and shit through the window. And I was like, hey, let's just pull up the road and talk for a little bit more. And we pull up to this little area where there used to be like this kind of like a convenience store, or, well, for upstate New York, it's more like we sell eggs from chickens that live in the back, right? Type of shit. It's condemned right now, as it should be. And we're talking, and I'm looking, and I see a huge fucking tortoise trying to cross the road. This
In the
is
middle of
not
the night?
No, this is like 5 p.m. And so I'm like, babe, do you see that? You see the fucking tortoise? Because I want to make sure I'm not flipping out, right? She's like, I see it. So I throw my hazards on. We're already parked, but I throw my hazards on. I'm honking at people who are coming to let them know that I'm getting out my car to go save the tortoise. Save the tortoise, right? Got him over to the bush. He tried to bite me, but I saved the motherfucker. And he was huge, bro. And I didn't
Oh
want to
my
take
God,
it
you do
over.
not want to get bitten by one of those things.
No, you get all types of fucking diseases.
Yeah. And they snap. They're like,
Yeah,
they're
they'll
like,
take your whole thumb off. But there's also a thing where if they're not healthy and you pick them up by the wrong part of the shell could separate, and it's a whole traumatizing thing. That thankfully did not happen. I saved him, put him over. Today, I'm bringing my young son back from dropping my mom off in Harlem. I see a baby turtle in the road. I whip the car over, Mantis, and I try the same tactic. I try to stop the car that's coming. I see it from a distance, and the motherfucker wouldn't stop. And he ran over the baby turtle, flipped it up in the air, and it flew in the bushes. And now I'm looking for the fucking thing. My son's screaming out the window, "What's going on, Dad?" Because he didn't see what was going on.
oh, thank God I didn't see. I thought you were going to say
I saw it, bro.
traumatized.
And now all I see for the remainder of the evening is the baby turtle flipping in the air. But I'm thinking he might be okay, right? Because if it was enough force to flip him, then he's not dead. If it was enough force to crush him, he should be fine, right?
Right. He'd be flattened or whatever, but instead he hit the air. Yeah, I think he could be alive.
Yeah, just like that dog I had back in the day. He's upstate somewhere.
He's upstate
running
at that
around.
farm.
And the reason I brought
The
that
farm
up
that
is
takes them in, right?
that story about the dog your parents took away from you and sent upstate or to the farm down south, wherever the fuck they sent these dogs, is as valid as this bitch claiming after brutally murdering her children that they came to visit her and say, "Don't worry about it, mommy. We're in a better place." Did she profess her faith in the Lord? Like, why the spirits? Like,
You know what she had the fucking nerve to say? She didn't even say fucking heaven. She said the spirit world. She's like, I know my kids are better off in the spirit world.
not the spirit world, not the crystals, not the crystals.
So, yo, here's what I'm saying. I think it might be possibly true that the death penalty might be biblically sound.
No, it 100% is. Like, it 100% is. It's just that, like, our modern day Western understanding or Eastern understanding is it's usually implemented. It can be implemented when it's not legal, right? And motherfuckers who should not be offed are being offed. Right. Continue. So,
but I do believe that it is biblically sound for a state to decide to execute somebody, and that the Lord would be fine with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, terminating, unliving your children. That could be a good reason.
and so I'm sorry to hit up because once again, obviously we're super political. We can't help but be political when we're being honest, and that's what Fanboy Modeling School is. We're people are being honest, right? We don't want to hide behind, because so many times in life, in other aspects of our lives, we have to pretend to be people we're not. We have to be silent, and this is our opportunity to just be ourselves. And so, I'm actually a big proponent of the death penalty. If overpopulation is a problem,
wow, the leap in logic there, it was very subtle. At the risk of getting kicked off the stream again.
But I'm just saying, why are we paying for these people to have 3 square meals a day when they're freaking psychos? Let's save some money and just get a noose.
Let's whoa. let's say I give that to you, right? Well, what's standard? Who's getting it and who's not? Because there are some people who would make the same argument where they're like, hey, if their term is 20 years and up, then what's the point of allowing them to live? Right? We should just terminate them if they're doing 20 plus years.
Well, there are people who do actually turn around and leave prison after 20, 25 years and like actually reform and are like, I've learned my lesson or whatever. Obviously, they had a fucked up ride, right? The poor bastards. They're old or whatever, but I've heard this story. I've seen these, these stories in these documentaries or these, people interest stories. I would say my standard for it is horrific crimes. If someone is murdering a woman and her children and then graping them, or somebody is cannibalizing people, someone's a serial killer, someone's killing their own children. And no, this isn't an abortion talk. I'm talking about your actual 7-year-old. Then fuck you. You should die.
Anyway.
Oh my God. I was laughing at your face, not what I was saying.
I know. Here's the thing about it though, man. Like, yeah, some people, in the immortal words of Bill Burr, if I was to come into power, 80% of you might have to go. Might have to go.
wait. Say that one more time. Wait, what did I just miss?
80% of you, you would get a chance to justify and rationalize your continued existence on my earth. If I found your answers lacking or wanting, be like, maybe this isn't the life for you. Grab your
wait, hold on. You're saying people disagree with you or ignorant about something?
What I said. That's not what I said. I said you would have an opportunity to rationalize or justify your life.
No, wait, I'm saying, did they do a crime or what's going on?
You're getting lost in the details. 80% of you would have the opportunity to maintain the state of life, right? And if you couldn't maintain it, then we get you to where you need to go. But most certainly, not in that 80% would be the people who hurt children, the elderly, or abuse the poor. Right? I those are 3 things where I just can't understand. Like, I don't think we put enough emphasis on people who steal funds from poor people and like lacking people.
Yeah, there's a whole economy based on it. Like, or people who steal from the elderly, or people who steal from the poor. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And there's the penalties to doing so are so low. Right. So you find some dude, they're like, he cheated all these senior citizens out of their retirement. And then they're like, 5 years. Like, what the fuck? You just ruined 100 lives. What are you fucking talking about? Right?
I promise we kill one millionaire. We put 1 millionaire to death for embezzling money from poor people. That shit will never happen. These motherfuckers will be turning on each other. But at any rate, so she heard the spirits of her children speaking to her, and I assume that they forgave her for her brutal crimes against them. And this all somehow translated into some way that the judge should show some
yes, that's what's during her leniency part.
Yeah,
talking. RM says she had gotten away with killing one of her ex-husbands, and her brother probably killed himself out of guilt for taking part in it. Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yes.
And then this is what I'm saying. Why I'm pro death penalty, because it should be reserved for people like this. Like, this is beyond the scope of so here's what I'm saying. We're talking about, let's say, gangbangers, right? Or people who have a drug, have a drug enterprise. Okay. They murder. There's a rational reason why they murder. I don't think the death penalty should be used on them. Unless, like I said, it's serial.
Wait. Spin that back right now. Let me ask you a question. See, this is where this conversation...
Unless the number is a lot. If they kill 1 or 2 people, I get it.
What are you talking about, a lot? So let me ask you a question. The Mookie situation. Do you know who Young Mookie is from Chicago? All right. So Young Mookie was a gangbanger himself. I believe, someone Google it, I believe he was somewhere between the age of 11 to 14. And he was out there putting work in the streets, which ultimately led to his demise. Older gangbangers took him up to the top of a building, shot him, and then chucked him from it. If I remember the way the story went down, why would we give them any more currency or grace than we would give anyone else?
Okay, so the crime we just described, I feel, is horrendous and therefore death penalty.
Okay. So, let me throw another scenario.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Do you know the Yana Melly song "Murder on My Mind"?
I don't listen to special needs music. I'm sorry, bro.
So this dude right here, in the song, and this is one of the murders that he's on trial for right now, because he's put it in his lyrics. He basically said that he was in the middle of transporting drugs, and he's telling the details, and a kid came out of nowhere to try to rob him, and he just quickly shot the dude. And the dude fell into his arms and was literally died in his arms. And then he got rid of the body and shit like that. And so Horrible. That's terrible. You need to go to jail for that. Fuck yeah. But that is different than the crime you just described. I feel like the crime, the premeditated crime you just described, is different than just someone running up on you and you shoot him.
Right. Okay. So most gang-involved crimes are premeditated.
I'm sure.
Right. So I would say, rough estimate, 95%. 95%. So you're okay with 95% of them facing the death penalty, right?
Yeah.
Drive-bys, yeah, gang activity. What self-defense? It sounds like is what you described there. Is that
self-defense? Oh wait, hold on. So you
let me. I'm trying to understand your point of view. Explain that story again. The guy made a song called.
The guy tried to rob him,
right?
Or the guy was running up to rob him, and he fired first.
The guy who ran.
Yeah, the rapper fired first, killed the dude.
Did the rapper have any priors?
Oh yeah, he's a drug dealer. He was a drug dealer. He was in the middle. He was in the commission of transporting drugs when the guy tried to rob him, and so then he gets rid of the body or whatever.
Wait, he disposed of the body?
He disposed of the body.
Bro, self-defense goes out the window at that point too.
That's what I'm saying. It's not self-defense. He should not get away. Like I said, he should go to jail. He should absolutely go to jail. I don't know if he should get the death penalty. I think the death penalty should be for premeditated, like, sinister shit. And so, like you're saying in the Mookie situation, they brought him up the roof to kill him.
Let me ask you a question. What level of culpability and agency would you give this young man? Like, he's selling drugs, right?
Yeah.
He understands the life, right? Enough to make music about it, right?
Yeah, yes, I do. I hear what you're getting at.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing, because if we're talking about like a choir boy who's like, I didn't know that the smoking of the weed would lead to so many
someone
bad
doesn't have to be a choir boy to have justice. Here's what I'm saying.
What do you determine as justice?
Because here's what I'm saying. No,
so let me ask you a question, Mathis. You run up on me while I'm slanging dope. I shoot you when you're in the commission of trying to rob me, and then the cops pull up. Okay, I do my bit. You're okay with that?
Yeah.
I might be okay with that. But then me trying to dispose of the body, that leads me right back to that circular pattern of culpability. It's like, well, I know what I did was wrong, so now let me dispose of the body. Like, that's not self-defense, man.
No, it's not. I never at any point. You used the phrase self-defense. I never at any point said that was self-defense.
I know you didn't. I know. I'm trying to understand why that person would get.
I'm saying that person should get. That's a life in jail as opposed to.
What about the people that may have died from the drugs that they sold? That's not on the table, right?
That's actually an interesting question. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on it are quite clear, right? So if you're slinging that shit in the hood, right? I think you can catch you should catch a body for anyone that has OD'd from your transactions, right? So if I can tie one body, if I can legally tie one body to drugs you sold them, you should get the death penalty for that if they OD.
Oh, wow.
It's murder. If you're selling cooked shit, if you're selling bad shit and you know...
Oh, yeah, if you're selling bad shit, yes.
No, period. Bad
but
shit.
I'm saying the other alternative is people are just ODing.
Know? Well, bro, if you're in the game, you're selling heroin, and you know there's a chance of people ODing. You know what you're doing, right? You know that there's a chance of someone.
But what about that person and taking their own risk on life? When do we calculate that part?
Calculate in what way?
So, like, basically, here's the idea. Like, let's say I go rent a motorcycle, right? And I'm like. And you're like, yo, Mantis, put on a helmet. I'm like, fuck that shit. Only pussies wear helmets. I go riding and I flip myself on some off road, and I fucking die. Wouldn't you say that is basically my fault?
No, that's entirely different, right? Because there's another person involved in the equation that I'm describing versus you riding off and you being solely responsible for your life. If I'm selling heroin, not weed, if I'm selling heroin, I understand in selling heroin, there's a chance that someone can OD off the drugs I'm selling. That's a part of the game. If I can legally tie to you as a prosecutor a body from someone that's OD'd from drugs you sold them, and that's murder, yeah, I would describe that as murder, and you should get the chair for that.
I would say manslaughter.
No. Manslaughter makes it seem as if though I didn't know. Oh my God, I don't understand the science of heroin. Like, but we wouldn't make that same argument in regards to pro-life, right?
Say that again.
We wouldn't make that same argument. Like we wouldn't make that same allowance in the argument of pro-life. Like you and I would take a staunch, like hard line stance that sex lead to baby. Like every time.
No, I'm not sure how you're comparing that to
No,
heroin cells.
No, so do you agree that sex leads to babies? Like we would understand that socially. Like
if you're doing it right, yes, it should lead to babies.
And we also know, you and I, growing up in New York, that heroin could lead to death, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've always known that as long as I've been alive.
I think that most people know, so we can accept that sex leads to baby, and there's a chance if you're doing heroin, especially nowadays where fentanyl is put into a lot of shit.
Oh,
so if you, yeah, and we're not even talking about the shit.
Like for instance, like with the guy who sold to Mac Miller, I think he should get the death penalty because he cut it with fentanyl, and
was he white? By any chance?
He was a white dude. He put too much in it. He put too much in it.
You have an implicit bias. You want to protect the brothers selling heroin. That's your like brother man shit right there. you're like throw the white boy to the death penalty, but I don't know, this brother man, he made some raps. He could be.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a hard life. You know what I'm saying? With all this white racism going on in America that prevent him from getting a job or an education.
Right.
He didn't have access to any of that, and so therefore he has to murder to make a simple living.
Forget the victims. The victims deserve no justice.
With a straight face. Obviously, the Mantis does not believe any of that because that is fucking nonsense. That's an over exaggeration of the plight of the black man. I love it how the white allies are like, well, they're supposed to be ignorant. They don't go to school. These poor people, they have no choices. America is littered with great opportunities for everybody.
Oh my goodness.
They're not the same. I'm not gonna lie and say they're the same, but there are ones.
So that's my bad. I took us onto a path that was crazy, but
it's fun. I love this is what Fanboy Modeling School is all about. Mantis, just a reminder, you are never allowed to forgive anyone who kills me after I'm dead. I will not be the ghost who gives them a pass. Yo, I will kill them dead, RM. I promise you, I will kill them dead.
Yeah, please don't let Mantis be on my jury for the person that murders me. It's like, well, it could have been self-defense. I'm somewhere the guy grew up in a bad neighborhood. All right, so where were you going with this whole thing about this?
This is the whole point is that I am actually I'm pretty pro death penalty. Okay. I think it's more civilized in activity than keeping them alive in some sort of cage or something. It's totally insane to do that. Just do away with them already. Just do the fuck away from them. Am I right?
I would say you're right. I don't know what standard we'd be doing this on. How are we picking these people?
Obviously, we have different standards or whatever, but I'm saying you admit that the world would probably be better if we, killed a bunch of people.
So on to Black Conspiracies.
Yeah, let's do Black Conspiracies.
Some great. So these are not necessarily Black conspiracies. In fact, these are just conspiracies that are very present in conversations where you will find Black people from all around the world, not just African Americans. I'm talking about from all the continents. And so I sent Man to some of these things. We were supposed to have another guest on here tonight helping us talk about this, but they couldn't make it. But the obvious one we have to start with, Mantis, are you up on the evil hip-hop Illuminati?
Up on it? I wouldn't say I'm up on it, but like I know about it, but I'm not like well versed.
So you don't know about the Illuminati? You don't know that?
No, I know about it. Like for instance, I know like Fetty Wap said as soon as he became famous, he would go to parties with other rappers and they would want him to worship the devil.
Right.
That kind of shit. Yes.
Right. Beck says Mantis would be like, you know how Steve gets sometimes. It could have been self-defense. Here's the thing about how Steve gets sometimes. it very well could have been self-defense for those guys, right? Because if I'm strangling some dope fiend with my bare hands,
Yeah.
like Steve, don't do it. I'm like, just die. But okay, so yeah, that's one of them. That's one of them, right? Another black conspiracy that I heard as a child. Right, I'm just going to some childhood shit.
Okay.
Starting in a very low denominator now.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm dying to know what you heard.
So as a child, I had heard once that white people can't dance.
I heard that too.
I believe this for many years. And then when Vanilla Ice came on the scene, it could dance on beat. My mind was blown. Absolutely blown. I really believe that anyone of European or Nordic or Celtic descent, they had no concept of what rhythm is. Would you qualify that as a conspiracy that every white person that steps on this earth is unable to hold a tune and dance to a beat?
I wouldn't say that's a conspiracy. I would say
It's
that's
a
a bigotry.
stereotype.
You were taught to be a racist, basically.
I don't know if I was taught to be a racist. I don't know. That's very strong. How dare you speak about my grandmother that way? I'm just trying to give Mantis some time so he can cue up the video because we. No, Tupac is most certainly dead, and thank God. Oh, are we live?
We are live.
Oh shit! No, Tupac is one of the greatest MCs to ever exist, and we wish his family well, and we hope they find justice.
Wait, normally you talk shit about him. What's happening? What am I missing?
Shaolin says there was a streak of time where Jay-Z had some insane satanic imagery in his videos. 100% true, or up to interpretation. I would say that Jay-Z definitely sold his soul to the deity of Oprah to marry Beyonce, right? And then in marrying Beyonce, they made the black cabal of evilness, and they most certainly probably had front row seats on the Epstein Island. Which, by the way, we still have not gotten any information about who was on the island or any of that stuff.
Right.
Mantis, you okay? You gonna be? Yeah.
No, I'm fine. I'm just looking for my video.
Which video are you looking for?
The video where I talk about, Beyonce and Jay-Z, because I had a whole conspiracy theory video about them and their evil ways.
You're wrong, Steve. Tupac is alive. He'll drop his new album this year. I expect that album to drop the same day that Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix walk out on stage together and say we're still here. And then Bruce Lee shows up and says that was me in Fist of Fury 2 and Chinese Connection 2. Tupac is as dead as hip hop, right? He's dead. In fact, did you know that they raided someone's house recently in regards to the shooting of Tupac? I forgot the guy's name, man, but they literally raided someone's house this month.
Wait, involving the shooting?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy shit, right? And a lot of people think this guy might have done it. No news or headway on the Biggie shooting. The more important, the more lyrically inclined. Genius. All right, that's it. I can't stall anymore, man. You got to produce whatever it is you're going to produce, bro.
You can't stall any further. I stall for you all the fucking time. You're like, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to change diapers. I'm doing all this shit. I'm solving nonstop. You can't stall. Just fucking stall, bro. Just fucking stall.
Not if you're going back 2 years worth of videos. Like, you look. Actually, you know what I noticed, Mantis? Until this moment, I did not know how much you resemble Andrew Tate, man.
Just because I'm bald, man?
Well, not just because you're bald. It's because you're bald, biracial, and you're light skinned. You probably share a lot in common with him.
I wonder if these fuckers took down my video.
Well, what was the video about, if you don't mind me asking?
It's about Beyonce being a fucking bitch. Wait, hold on. Come on, I'm so close. I'm very close. I'm super close.
I got you. So, okay, here's the thing, right? So this is supposed to be about many things, right, in regards to the black conspiracies, but mostly it's always about hip hop. And somehow the Illuminati, which is at the epicenter of this entire conversation, is somehow convincing black people to work against their own interests in regards to hip hop, right? So you have people who ascend to such a height, not because of their talent, right, and not how great they are. they ascend to such a height that Oprah then allows them in. If I have it
Right,
correct,
because she's the queen. She's the high
she holds the
high
highest
priestess or whatever.
she allows them in, and then they experience that true black wealth. So we're gonna watch Mantis's video.
So
They
guys,
definitely
this
shadow
is a,
banned this video.
yeah, this is a video that I made like years ago. It was all about all the shit going on. It was actually, it's funny. The reason why I didn't find it is the main topic was Kanye West for president. So here is as black conspiracy as it gets. Guys. Oh, look at this handsome motherfucker.
I like my chai like I like my women. Lukewarm.
Oh, I had my old song. This is old. This is really old.
Hello, and welcome to Satan Watch, the only internet show that's going to explain to you how the king of hell is ruining your goddamn day. He started this year by infecting the world with a pandemic. Then he shut down all our movie theaters and bars. He added aliens to our collective psyches, which gave us nightmares for months to come. And to add insult to injury, he produced and released the album Folklore. Now, of course, I'm not going to just focus on his daughter and her shenanigans. I'm also going to go back to this gentleman right here, the prolific rapper and possibly one of the greatest rappers of all time and producers, Kanye West. Now, for all of you just joining in, who just joined just became a subscriber of this channel, I know you're thinking, isn't this a guy who's supposed to talk about comic books? Where's all the Satan and UFO talk coming from? Well, the fact of the matter is, I'm a true rebel, and rebels do not have formats for their YouTube channels.
Word.
Let's take a look at how his and Taylor Swift's beef was all concocted by the Dark Lord himself. The story of their beef starts out in December 2009, when unfortunately Kanye West's mother passed away. They were very close. Then roll up the VAM, the Video Music Awards from MTV, and Kanye West is spotted entering it with a bottle of open Henny in his hand. He is a very distraught individual, and who does he end up hanging out with but the king and queen of pop, rap, / hip-hop, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Taylor Swift ends up winning it. That's right, it's good to be the daughter of Satan. She's got some connections right there. And Kanye West is pissed. He believes that Beyonce, the queen of them all, deserved it all. Her video, I'm not gonna lie, it was very good. And who is egging him on but Jay-Z himself? Basically, he's saying, I'm too much of a pansy to defend my wife. Why don't you go do that for me? And he keeps doing it,
Hold on.
Kanye West is...
Yo, true. This is true.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very
other
true.
people have actually identified this. They said, who were around him were like, yeah, he was egging him on. He was like saying, it's just like, my wife deserved it. Didn't she deserve it? And Kanye, who was wasted, was like, yeah, man, fuck this shit.
Can we just stop for a second? And I agree with everything you're saying. And just take a long look at Taylor Swift, man. And I just want to call out a few people. Well, I guess a whole demographic of people. To all you guys that are attracted to this young man by the name of Taylor Swift. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I do not mind a slim woman, and I don't mind a curvy, voluptuous woman, but I'm looking at this picture right here, man, and never mind. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. But
I knew what you were going to say. Yeah.
Like, let me ask you a question, Mantis. You see Taylor out in this outfit. You're going for this? You're going for the emaciated look? Is this your thing here?
Okay, so I mean, it's so complicated. Basically, on the basis of it, in my opinion, and let me finish. People, listen, let me finish. Real women have curves.
Right.
However, I have met maybe one woman who, like, emotionally we were so, like, together that, like, she didn't have any curves. She was like a stick figure and it was all good. I was still super attracted to her. So it takes all kinds. It's different. Like, I don't discriminate. But normally, in terms of like what I'm instantly attracted to is a woman with curves.
Right. So not the slim man here in the bodysuit. Not the prepubescent boy here. Okay.
Yeah, Matt says Taylor is hot. She's got a perfect body. And so once again, the differences between this could be cultural or racial or whatever, right?
Maybe I don't think so. But
Well, remember, she is a super. She's probably a billionaire at this point. I don't know if she's a billionaire, but she's definitely super rich and super popular, right? Clearly, a lot of people want her.
do they want her, or does the machine tell them that she's attractive?
But even if the machine tells them and they're stupid enough to fall for it, then they want her, right?
I guess, man. I guess. You know what we should call for this is Da Vinci. I think she would have a fair balance.
He said she could use some bigger boobs. I like how he spelled boobs. That's great.
You definitely look like Andrew Tate in this video right here, bro. Like if you just said Bugatti.
Bugatti. Here, let's see what this Mantis guy has more to say.
He's like, let me go handle this. He goes up there, and as we all know, he snatches the award away. He says a few stupid things, basically says, you don't deserve this. Beyonce does, and he walks away. Let's not start insulting our peers at work. That's not uncool, Kanye. However, it happened. Years go by, and what seems to be a cute little pop beef between the two as they war back and forth, dissing each other, diss tracks, and all sorts of other things, until they decide to make up and having a very cute thing, until 2016 in The Life of Pablo. That's Kanye West's 7th album, where he insults her again, implies that they're on the verge of having sex, and basically says the only reason she's famous is because of him. Right? Now, if you notice, ever since 2009, he used to seem sane, just
That was
sassy.
That was me clubbing.
No, what was the laughing sound? Yo, rewind that back. It sounded like a baby laughing. Can you rewind that back?
Is Satan in my video?
Yes, most
Sex.
certainly.
And basically says the only reason she's famous is because of him. Right?
What
now,
the
if you
fuck
notice,
is that? Wait, what is that? I've never seen that before. What the? I'm in a back alley while I'm filming this.
Or again, implies that they're on the verge of having sex, and basically says the only reason she's famous is because of him.
That is fucking Satan right there.
I'm glad that I really thought my break from reality had finally come. I'm like, yo, what is that?
The fuck? Oh, I never noticed that. I need to check all my Satan Watch videos. Maybe there's fucking weird noises on all of them. That is a sound I would have never edited into that. That is bizarre.
Ooh, that's a hard shot. That's a hard
The
shot.
pancakes I had for breakfast have more curves than Taylor Swift.
That's a hard shot. I love it. I love it.
Oh my!
I love it. Mantis with the Satan.
Right? Now, if you notice, ever since 2009, he used to seem sane, just sassy, and he's gone a slow decline of madness within each album and each thing. He's getting worse and worse, making less and less sense, and being a bigger than ever. Now, it is obvious that he suffers from a very common mental illness celebrities have. It's called excessive notoriety. That once you become notorious for something, you crave it more and more. Almost like a sweet, horrible addiction. It goes on and on and on and on until it completely ruins your life, or you're just in the tabloids all the time. However, I would like to put up an alternate theory here. Now, I would like to go a few years back, speaking about our girl, Beyonce. Now, one of her backup dancers actually put a lawsuit against her, but she was actually fired, because she said that Beyonce put a curse on her and ended up killing her pet through voodoo practices. And then she says that Beyonce is a consummate practitioner of the black arts, not necessarily voodoo, but different rituals that involve animal sacrifices. This is actually in legal journals. People actually have legal papers that this is what the lawsuit was about.
Not the legal journal.
And here is my suggestion to you. That is it not obvious that Beyonce is one of Taylor Swift's capos? It's obvious in the hierarchy of hell. We've got.
Now that might have been a little bit of racism in your conspiracy theory. Why couldn't Taylor Swift be one of Beyonce's capos?
Because in my theory, Taylor
Because
Swift.
you hate black women.
Well, Beyonce's barely black, but Taylor Swift is the daughter of Satan in my conspiracy theory already.
Right.
So she's obviously has to be the top.
Well, that's a Near Eastern concept of evil, right? Near Eastern. You see what I did there? I didn't say Eurocentric, where a lot of people get that wrong, right?
All right.
Near Eastern concept of evil. You know, a lot of African understanding of evil predates that, North African and Southern Africa. Why are you hating on black people being able to be the ultimate evil?
Do you think it's a better narrative for blacks if I say that Jay-Z and Beyonce are the devil?
I'm saying, why do you have a problem with it?
Because my theory is already that Taylor Swift is the daughter of Satan.
Right.
So you don't get higher than that unless you're Satan.
Well, I'm saying that all things considered, right? Equality. Black people can just be as evil, can they not?
Yeah, I assume they could. I assume in the hearts of man, evil can, there can be all sorts of evil,
Are you saying black people are incapable, lack the necessary intelligence to be the daughters of Satan?
Clearly, that's where I'm going with that. Clearly, as a white ally, I have to say that blacks do not do anything wrong. Only the white man does that.
Okay. All right, continue. Let it rock. I'm sorry.
The boss of bosses is Satan. The underboss, or street boss, if you will, in vernacular, is Taylor Swift. One of her capos is Beyonce, a devil worshiper and practitioner, and under her are her soldiers, right? So Jay-Z, I doubt he's a cop. He's his wife. I mean, that's clear. So he's a soldier there, but there's a different type of soldier. Now, basically, what I am suggesting Kanye West is to them is that he is a Renfield.
Wow.
Master, you promised me immortality, but instead you give it to the pretty lady. That's right. He's the weird, decrepit freak in Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's right. It's someone who wants evil, dark gifts from their master, and they will do anything to have it. And what I am suggesting right now is Kanye West does that for Taylor Swift. He does whatever she says, and all of his crazy outbursts are because of her. She orders these things, and particularly his current run for the presidency. So what it is she was suggested a long time ago that she was a Aryan, white power icon, and she actually wasn't fighting it the way that a certain politician.
I can't believe I found that video. So for those who don't know, that is Taylor Swift in an SS uniform.
Amazing pause. One of the best.
What do you think of the theory so far?
There's so much to unpack here, but I think you're spot on. Obviously, I think you're spot on. I mean, she did threaten your cat, right?
She threatened my fucking cat. She has satanic images all over the fucking place. She's a clone of the Antichrist.
Are you aware of the fact that they cloned Tyrone?
I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
I have not watched it, but to find out that Tyrone from the Erykah Badu song, "You Better Call Tyrone," they cloned that motherfucker, right? Think about it. And they made a bunch of other shiftless motherfuckers.
Shit.
They cloned Tyrone.
That is some next level shit.
Next level. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke, bro.
Stay woke.
Hit it.
That we all know doesn't fight that image or anything or ever denounce it publicly. She was just going with it. Eventually, it becomes very unpopular for her, and then she begins to denounce this particular politician. She's like, "I'm against this guy. I'm against these people. It's all wrong."
In the background, that's cropped, right? Because those hands can't belong to her. Like if she had that, frame,
no. Like obviously that's that's photoshopped her in there. But I think it's a good Photoshop, right?
Very good, very good, very good.
It's definitely because optics, right? However, What I'm suggesting to you is she still wants that particular politician to win. She is a secret supporter. And what
So actually, we need to get into this. So for those who don't know, Taylor Swift is a secret supporter of Donald Trump and only pretends to be a liberal when it was going south.
When you say secret supporter, what do you mean by that?
So she originally said she was pro Donald Trump in the beginning days of, the 2016 or whatever. And as Donald Trump got more hate and hate and hate, she finally came out and she said, you know what? I can't stand this guy. He's really wrong. I didn't know who I was backing. I'm against him, and now I'm pro Hillary. That's what she said, basically.
Really?
Publicly. But I believe that is a front. I think that she's doing it just because for press. And that she really still is a secret supporter of Donald Trump.
Can I ask you a question? Isn't she the reason you got kicked off YouTube or shadow banned in the beginning? like are we treading dangerous waters right now?
So
and
Taylor Swift may have an out for me.
Dragging me into this bullshit with you, like,
isn't this the episode we're doing?
No, we said Black Conspiracies. You're attacking this beloved white woman, and I'm wondering if you're fucking dragging me into.
Well, she happens to be part of it, but we're gonna get into Kanye West and all this other shit.
Okay.
I'm suggesting is that she got her little Renfield to run for president so that it doesn't, let's face it, not going to split any black vote, but it will divert black votes
Very good at it.
right where he wants to. As long as the crazies or the most ignorant of the ignorant vote for Kanye, that will detract things from the Democratic Party, and it's just a bamboozlement, man. Now, I know you guys are thinking about going easy on Tay-Tay for a while, but I was worried about Benjamin's health, man. I don't want her to kill my cat, but I need to get back into it, especially since I've listened to folklore, and some people are like, oh, look at this nice poetry. It ain't poetry, yo. That is satanic odes, man. And I'm going to do a full review in about a week or two. It's just been very busy lately. But what do you guys think? What do you think of this possibility that actually Kanye really does the bit?
RM wants me to ask you about Swifty's tweet on his banned X Twitter account.
Yo, RM, can you refresh me? Can you refresh me? Because I don't remember. What is it that I said? I can't keep track of all the shit I say on my band account.
Oh, the truth. So this is what you're on your third or second band account?
Third. I'm on my third account. I've had two banned. Here's what I'm saying. If you are not banned from Twitter, you are not doing it right. The real way to assert your liberty and your freedom of speech is to get banned.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
The math is math.
RM, please let me know. Remind me. Clearly, you know better than me. You tweeted about Swifties negatively. Yes. No, I normally shit on Swifties. Yeah. Nothing new about that.
Wait, so let me ask you a quick question, man. Before we get into the black side of this conversation, where are you at with the Taylor Swift thing now, man?
So I think I believe more now than ever that she's the daughter of Satan and that she's trying to bring about the apocalypse. Is that the answer?
No, it's a great answer, man.
I know a lot of people are like, don't you talk about it on your radio show or blah blah blah, all this shit. That that's a job. So I do have to report on her shenanigans. I'm not allowed to blatantly on the radio station be like, yo, this bitch works for Satan. Obviously that's a bit orange, right?
Makes total sense.
But I do believe that she is the daughter of Satan and she's trying to bring about the apocalypse by corrupting our children.
Yeah, because of you, I don't let my kids even say her name.
Yes, please don't do it. And
So
if you're in this stream, please don't let your kids, fucking, do anything with Taylor Swift.
All right. So I want you to click on not the first video I sent you. Click on the second one, because I feel like that's going to be the best representation. And it's probably better we didn't.
Second you sent me?
Yeah, the second I sent you. It's probably better we didn't have Bex up because Bex is going to show up with notes and she's going to, I did not argue the point of the Black Conspiracy, but she's going to bring us some deep scientifical, right? New word, scientifical representation on this entire conversation. But this is the one that I think that people really deep dive. And this is the thing I love about conspiracy theories. It's not a real conspiracy theory if it does not keep you up in a cold sweat at night. Like if you can read it and then go, huh, okay, yeah, and then lay your head down, it's not a conspiracy theory.
I agree.
I think conspiracy theories should keep you up in cold sweats at the mere possibility of it being true. And then you start to do deep research on it because you're like, man, this is so close to what could be possible. It takes you to a weird place. Play it, son. Play this shit, my guy.
The Illuminati's that shadowy cabal that controls the entire world and ensures free will's an illusion. They've got a big Facebook page. Celebrities like Jay-Z are accused of being members. And there are weird YouTubers like this guy.
They had weirdos standing up everywhere, and then Beyonce, show a document cam shot of this if you can. She does the Illuminati symbol. What? Tell folks what you saw.
But what about the real history of the Illuminati and how it became what it is?
That is fucking brilliant, man. That's fucking brilliant. She does the Illuminati symbol.
The frogs are... Can't even say the word.
Gay frogs, man. Anyway, let's get
Today. This is Bavaria, and in 1776, Adam Weishaupt, a law professor, founded the Illuminati. It's real. He wanted to spread Enlightenment ideals around the world. The goal was to infiltrate the monarchy and make them
So
more...
wait, hold on, real quick. I need to sum with this. It was monarchy at that time. However, the concept was not infiltrate monarchy because you can't infiltrate monarchy. They're families, right? That makes no fucking sense. The truth is they wanted to infiltrate governments,
right?
Which we'll get into that a little more down this video. However, what it is it's true they want to infiltrate the monarchy, but anything who ruled a country, they wanted to get into it.
Okay, so yeah, no, 100% monarchy represents what you're saying. I think that sometimes that we forget that people wouldn't necessarily infiltrate the monarchy so much as they would do their subordinates, right? Not even the government, right? Like the people in court, the people that were advisors, and that's what makes it a good conspiracy. Almost to the point where, like, if you can get to a high-ranking advisor in the ear of someone in the monarch, is that not the same thing as infiltrating the monarch? Have we not seen from France and England that all it takes is one well-positioned idiot,
right,
to whisper in the ears?
Even in our country, I'd say one well-positioned idiot can have all the house of cards we live in.
I meant to ask you your thoughts on the whole Hunter Biden, Ron DeSantis, slavery shit. I felt like it was going to be too deep. You know, we got the Hunter Biden trial.
That is a lot. That is
basically handing away his candidacy when he actually got black conservatives to speak out against him. I want you to stop and think about that for a second. Talking about a people group willing to toe the line. He got black conservatives to come out and condemn his statements. Yeah.
That's insane. That's fucking, you gotta be a real fucking jackass to be able to do that. Because usually they'll be down for anyone who can get into office, right?
Right.
And yet they turned on him. So he has no traction for president. It's pathetic.
No. Continue.
Enlightened by entering their ranks. Even though they were so high-minded, they had weird rituals. See these owls? The Illuminati really loved them. And they had invented hierarchies like novice, minerval, and illuminated. Even though they were weird, they did have some success around the world. Anywhere from 650 to 2,800 members infiltrated Freemason chapters, may have had influential members like the writer Goethe.
Meghan Markle can do it. If Meghan Markle can do it. Good point, Bex. Good friggin' point.
No, that is a really good point. But she did it. How did she do it? Through sexuality.
I mean, yeah. You get in when you fit in, right? You find the weakest ginger in the room and you exploit them. Like, listen, you're a mutant.
And I'd like to point out, I would like to point out another thing about the Illuminati. They kept saying they're enlightened, they're enlightened. They call themselves enlightened. The truth is that they believed that monarchies and governments should be ruled more for science, and this is the start of the science dominating things. And they're like, we didn't want superstition, we want science. It got to the point where the Illuminati at this time, back in the day, didn't believe in the nuclear family.
Yeah.
They believed that women would have children and they should be handed over to the government to be raised.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense, bro.
It's demonic, if you ask me.
Well, at some point we got to talk about all the young actors with blood clots. Maybe not this episode, but we got to talk about.
No, we'll do it. Conspiracies, man. We'll jam them all in the next 25 minutes.
Go for it.
Poor Bronny.
And even might have influenced the Jacobins, the political club that spurred the French Revolution
definitely
to its most
did.
radical heights. But they were destroyed in 1785. This is Karl Theodor. He was the Duke of Bavaria, and that year he banned secret societies. That included the Illuminati.
Okay, so this is the stupidest fucking statement I've ever fucking heard. I assume this guy is on the take. It's clearly some fucking asshole sucking Illuminati dick. There is a big Illuminati dick in your mouth right now, you. But here's what I'm saying. So a guy in 1700s outlaws secret societies. Do you think a secret society would just suddenly be like, okay, we're going to give up our quest for world domination. Okay, we got it. Hang up your hoods, guys. We're all good, man. And just fucking go away?
It worked on the KKK, obviously, right?
Right, exactly. When the United States of America was like, we have outlawed the KKK, the guys were like, fuck, man. I just bought this new hood, man. Like, what the fuck are these idiots talking about? Of course it didn't go away. This guy is clearly an idiot.
He's a part of the game. He's a shill. He's a governmental shill.
Historians think that it worked, and the Illuminati disappeared. But if that's true, then why do we still think Drake's Illuminati today, just because he wears owl sweaters? Since the beginning, conspiracy theories have been...
Owl sweaters. Do you hear that, guys? Owl sweaters. Think about it.
The Illuminati. This guy, Xavier von Zwack, actually did have plans to take over the world that were found after the Illuminati was banned. American historians and preachers thought the Illuminati planted some seeds for the French Revolution, and George Washington even wrote a letter that claimed the Illuminati had once been a threat.
Okay, so it's actually interesting that they say that there's a letter, George Washington wrote a letter, because that is either an understatement or he's talking about one aspect. So I don't know what letter he's talking about. However, I do know that George Washington, in his exit speech as president, all presidents do a final speech on their way out the door. George Washington commented on the Illuminati.
Did he? What did he say?
He said, for my predecessors, I hope that you guys, for my
president to say my predecessors.
The first president said my successors. He was like, you need to be wary of the Illuminati. They're infiltrating governments all over the place, and they want to destroy things. And he started listing things. He was like, the nuclear family, blah, 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 all these things. He kept going on about it. And so that is actually credited as one of the things that created Illuminati paranoia.
Right.
That our first president was really paranoid about them. However, I don't think it's paranoia if it's true. And so these secret society guys were infiltrating governments left and right.
So a lot of people think he was talking about the Fed, right? Even before it existed, they thought he was talking about the concept of the federal bank. Do you not think that's true?
No, I think he was talking about the Illuminati.
Okay.
I think people have a hard on for the Fed, and so they want to see the Fed. They want to see the Fed in it. I don't think it's that serious or whatever. And so I think he was literally talking about the Illuminati.
Okay, I'm with you. Let's keep going, man. We don't have to finish this whole video, but we got to make it.
But the
through some-
Illuminati lost the limelight thanks to the Freemasons. This is George Washington as a Freemason, and a lot of founding fathers really were Freemasons. That inspired the Anti-Masonic Party. It was a legitimate movement with big names like John Quincy Adams, and the Illuminati paranoia faded around the world. So, how did the myth stay alive? There were always random
Hip-hop,
books like this one
clearly.
from 1918 or book reviews that mention the Illuminati, but most people think the Illuminatus book trilogy of the 1970s deserves credit for bringing the Illuminati back. It might also be why weird secret symbols like these, pyramids and triangles are
Wait, hold on. Let's go back a little.
Kick it. Because I think there's an argument to be made that maybe it existed and it died out, and then you could have brought that back, right?
It could have come back. For all we
you
know,
have
it's
to entertain that,
constant or
right?
came back. But you're right. Who's to say it didn't come back?
100%.
But I think it's interesting, this symbol right here, because this is a biblically accurate description of an angel.
So you're talking about what? It's in the book. You're talking about the book in Elijah. I want to say it is about the cherubim.
When you see angels, they have either multiple eyes or a single eye, depending on the classification, and they have multiple wings. And if you see this right here, it almost seems like it's legit.
Oh, okay. Continue.
these pyramids and triangles are associated with the Illuminati. It was a funny series and gave new life to the conspiracy for an ironic, connected age. They were an evil organization bent on ruling the world, sure, but they were also kind of funny. The Illuminati was vague enough to be refit to any purpose, from the New World Order to religious paranoia to pop culture curio like angels and demons. It became a joke. But you might believe that's what the Illuminati wants you to think if you notice the 14 evil yellow triangles of power hidden inside this video. The Illuminati really only endures because it's disappeared and can look like anything. There's nothing to worry about.
That shit was very scary.
That got me the first time I watched it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I gotta tell you honestly, the scariest thing I experienced in a long time was the baby voice that you're unaware of in your own video. Might want to check your fucking setup there, bro. Like, there was a baby laughing in one of your videos and you have no recollection of putting that sound effect in. You're pretty much a dead man. Like, if you
What I'm saying, Taylor Swift has called me out and threatened my life and my pet's life.
When do you get banned on Twitter?
In public. And so, yeah, like, what the fuck is that baby? What is that baby sound?
All right. This one sucks, man. I'm sorry. That's more for the initiated. If you're not deep into like conspiracy lore, can you click on the video with Jay-Z's face on it? I feel like that's the juicy one. My uncle's a Mason. A lot of black people are Masons. Funny you should say that, Bex. Have you ever seen a movie called Rosewood before, Mantis?
Oh, I know of it. I didn't see it.
All right. So I don't know how historically accurate this is, but in the movie Rosewood, the guy who actually killed the white woman was a Mason, and he is able to escape his fate because he, enlisted the help of two black Masons. One of them was reluctant to help him. The other one was like, "Yo, we have to help him because he's a Mason." That's just to let you know how secret societies never work in the favor of the black man in the black community. Like, had I been there at that critical moment, right, in historical Rosewood, right, if that scenario had actually happened, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what ring this fool is wearing. We're turning him over.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Fuck your ring. Fuck your status. Fuck your club.
Fuck all that bullshit. Go ahead, kick it.
So this is E.T. Canada.
That Avril died and was replaced by an Avril lookalike.
Believe it.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest music fan theories.
Who is Steve Mike? That is the name of a group of people that helped me in my early stages, and I still work with some of them.
Some claim he looks just as Elvis would have looked as an elderly man.
So this started
Wait,
some
hold on,
rumor
we're going back there.
that because
We
he
are
was
going.
barefooted,
We're going back.
he's dead.
Man.
So this started some
With people that helped me in my early stages, and I still work with some of them.
Some
Pause it, go back, man. See, that's the insidious part about a conspiracy theory, because it can link itself to anything. So when he says that is some of the people, we, plural, I could literally hear some psychopath saying LGBTQ, right? They're saying that's the trans, non-binary.
Oh, that's not
movement.
what they're saying at all.
No, I'm saying that I could hear
Yeah.
some crazy person relating it to
No,
it.
I didn't think you were, but I'm saying that is insane.
Insane people say insane things.
Yo, look what they're saying. They're saying that this dude looks like Elvis as if he was old. That dude could be fucking anybody under that beard.
But
He
he's
could be
most
Santa Claus.
He's most certainly Tupac for sure. We know
It's
that.
Tupac. I'll vote Tupac over fucking.
claim he looks just as Elvis would have looked as an elderly man.
So this started some rumor that because he was barefooted, he's dead.
For this list, we'll be ranking the most outlandish and enduring theories and urban legends about musicians. Do you swear by any of these theories? Did we miss any along the way? Sound off in the comments.
Hello, Pony. He said
Number
Kenny
10.
Rogers.
David Bowie predicted the rise of Kanye West. David Bowie fans loved the out there science fiction concepts that filled the glam rockers' early work. But even Ziggy Stardust diehards will likely shake their heads at the first theory on our list, linking David Bowie with Kanye West.
If it's in fact true.
I don't believe it.
The idea began in 2007 when fans pointed out the K West sign in the cover art for the album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Lyrically, the tracks describe an Earth doomed to destruction in 5 years until Bowie's alien alter ego intervenes. Kanye was born 5 years after the album's release, leading fans to conclude that Kanye was in fact the prophesied Starman. However, the other fan connections to this theory are basically only convenient coincidences.
If I'm afraid to be me, I'm no longer Ye. That's what makes Ye.
Number 9. Beyonce pretended
No,
to be
fuck that.
pregnant.
Wait, stop. I believe that one.
Say it again. Go for it.
Yeah, no, I believe that Kanye West is the chosen one.
Shit. Okay. Why?
Well, all the evidence they just showed me. K
What
West
evidence? That was conjecture.
K West is in the album cover, and then he was born 5 years later, like they described in the thing.
Okay. Hey, I have some bridges in an area called New York. I'd like.
Well,
to
are
sell
they
them.
for sale? Because I'm in the market for bridges.
Okay. Let's let it rock.
Let's see what this Beyonce shit is.
Call this next theory Bumpgate. Some fans will do anything to keep their favorite celebrity in discussion, even if that celeb is already world famous. Case in point, Beyonce, who fans made the subject of a far-fetched fan theory while she was pregnant with her first child, Blue Ivy.
What this moment exposed to some even caught us by surprise.
The rumors stemmed from the singer's appearance on an Australian talk show, specifically how her baby bump seemed to deflate when she sat down for an interview.
Oh my
Fans started surmising
God.
that Beyonce was wearing a prosthetic stomach and that a surrogate was carrying the child. The truth was much more realistic, as it was just the folding of Beyonce's dress that caused the commotion.
As Beyonce sits down with Molly Meldrum, her dress folds.
Number 8. Andrew WK and Dave Grohl are the same person. There isn't enough room here to—
Wait, hold on. Andrew WK and Dave Grohl are the same person. Just because they're white dudes with brown long hair, that's the reason why they're the same person.
I gotta be honest, man. I have completely failed tonight, man. I thought I brought you some great conspiracy theories that black people would be into. Even though I know that black nerds would be into this, I realized that this is falling flat. Bex, we are gonna need you to bring us absolute black conspiracies.
Well, we're gonna finish this though.
No, 100%. We're on the right path, brother. We're on the right. You and I. We're there.
To detail the craziness that is the career of Andrew Wilkes Cryer, also known as Andrew WK. In particular, there's a lot of mystery behind the identity of Steve Mike,
He
a
does not
pseudonym
look like
used
Dave
by
Grohl at
both
all.
Andrew and someone accusing him of being a fake.
Who is Steve Mike?
That is the name of a group of people that helped me in my early stages, and I still work with some of them.
But we're here to speculate on the fan theory that the party hard singer is actually Dave Grohl in disguise.
I've got another confession to make.
Spoiler alert, he's not. Although Grohl did once invite WK to open for the Foo Fighters in San Francisco. Alternatively, some fans have theorized that Grohl is really Steve Mike. The idea behind that he's some sort of shadowy Svengali who created Andrew WK as a Milli Vanilli-esque studio project. Number 7. Lorde is older than she appears. Lorde's unique delivery and
Bitch is
minimalist
old.
production
Bitch is old.
style made a lot of ears perk up amongst fans, critics, and industry insiders alike. That said, a creative voice so forward-thinking just has to be from some sort of crafty musical veteran, right? Well, that's actually the origin behind our next crazy conspiracy theory, that Lorde was not a teenager when her debut, Pure Heroin, was released in 2013.
My friends and I, we've cracked the code.
It all comes down to crazy conjecture, based on the maturity level of her music. There have been a number of blog posts rattling off humorous reasons why Lorde seems to handle herself in a manner that's above her peers. It's all in good fun, of course. Hopefully no one actually believes this one.
Let me live that fantasy.
Number 6. Subliminal backwards messages. It's a tale as old as time. Your favorite albums are hiding subliminal messages within those vinyl grooves, with their true intentions revealed should you dare to spin the black circle backwards. These messages could be anything from advocating devil worship and drug use to something far more sinister. Sadly, this was the basis in an infamous court case involving heavy metal legends Judas Priest.
Are there subliminal duets on the Better By You, Better Than Me song?
Absolutely not.
In 1991, they had to defend their recording of Better By You, Better Than Me against accusations that it drew 2 young Nevada men to attempt suicide. Not even taking into account that the song in question is a cover song by 70s rockers Spooky Tooth, the truth is that the backwards messages were all in the listeners' minds.
I know one thing I've learned from this court case. I'd hate to go into court with something to hide. I'd be scared to death.
Number 5. Jay-Z and the Illuminati.
Yeah.
We've already mentioned Beyonce earlier in our list, so now it's time for her husband.
Doesn't he just look like a motherfucker that's like, hey, we should say this guy's name 5 times and see what happens. And then somehow he makes it to the end of the movie. Jay-Z is the Black Renfield of horror films.
Yo,
100%.
I have to say, like,
100%.
back in the day when people were saying who are the greatest rappers or whatever, he was not on my list. When people said, they're like, yo, Reasonable Doubt is the greatest album ever. I'm like, no, it isn't. You're an idiot. Most people agreed with me. They didn't agree with, and somehow this idiot has found his way to maneuvering through marriage and other conspiracy shit to fucking become considered the king of rap. But yet he doesn't deserve it.
Bro, just think about it for 1 second, man. Who has benefited from the death of other hip-hop icons more than Jay-Z and Big Pun? I'm not Big Pun. Fat Joe. Fat Joe was the other guy from the Terror Squad. Like, obviously, Fat Joe's album dropped before Big Pun's, but we all remember Big Pun's album, right? Like, I wasn't even checking for Fat Joe after Big Pun died. I'm just like, oh, man. Biggie dies. Next thing I know, Jay-Z's number 1. Not only did Biggie die, Big L died.
Right.
Yeah. Continue. The truth is right there, folks. You just gotta
Big
be willing
L,
to
rest
see it.
in peace.
R.I.P.
Husband to have a turn riding the conspiracy theory train.
We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
There are
and then also another thing is, like, I don't even believe the truth of their relationship. So it happens to be that the guy who is vying to be the king of rap marries the woman who is the queen of R&B. It's unreal.
So if you believe the Kaiser Sose effect, right? I believe it. I believe that their relationship is more than just a business arrangement. I don't believe that Jay-Z signed a contract with Beyonce. I believe Beyonce signed a contract with Jay-Z.
I believe that.
here's the deal, right, man? As big as Destiny's Child is, man, like, and as much as people want to say that she lent some legitimacy to his career, in actuality, Jay-Z gave her so much street cred.
Yes,
People
he
fucked with her on a
absolutely
level
did.
that
Absolutely
they didn't
right.
fuck with her before, man. She was just like the good girl in that one band. And don't even get me started on how Beyonce was able to jump over women more talented than herself to become the queen bee. There were so many women that came out in that era who were better vocalists. I
Word.
think Jay-Z might actually be Lucifer incarnate.
Because I would actually say, like the late '90s, early 2000s, there was a plethora of R&B artists. People who were singing, not rapping, and it is crazy that like she became the top tier one, which is crazy.
Here's the thing, too, man. You got to think about. Here's one thing you really got to think about, man. You got to break this shit down. You know that song "Who Shot Him"?
Yeah.
"Who Shot You" by Biggie Smalls. You know, there's a video for that song, right? Well, not a video for the song, but there's a video that comes on. It's an interlude, or comes on after a Jay-Z song. It's Biggie, Jay-Z, and a few other iconic New York hip hop artists. Almost everyone in that table. At that table in that video is dead, except for Jay-Z.
Holy shit.
100%. 100%.
RM says the Blueprint was released on September 11th, 2001, same day as Mariah Carey's soundtrack for Glitter. Coincidence?
I think not.
Actually, a number of fan beliefs about Jay-Z.
Wait.
For
pause it.
example,
Also,
there's the claim
pause
that
it,
he's
pause
an
it, pause it. Also, the same time, RM, that we all found out that Mariah Carey was black. Who exposed that? Huh? Think about that for a second. We all thought Mariah Carey was some light-skinned Latino girl, and then we found out she was black, and then her popularity started to wane. Right? She was married to Tommy Mottola, whatever that Italian guy's name is from her record label.
I can't keep track of her marriages, yeah.
Well, it's just that dude and Nick Cannon, right? She was
That's
engaged.
it?
Yeah, I think she's only been married twice. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh,
Nick Cannon smashed. We don't know if the other guy smashed. He put babies in.
immortal vampire, based on an old photo of a man who bears a strong resemblance to him.
Oh, this shit
Then
is
there's
crazy.
the one about him
Wait,
being a member of the
rewind it. I'm
Illuminati.
sorry, I talked
Yep, like
over it.
Lady Gaga,
This is
Taylor
one of my
Swift, and
Just happen
favorite
to
hip-hop.
be celebrities.
there are actually a number of fan beliefs about Jay-Z. For example, there's the claim that he's an immortal vampire, based on an old photo of a man who bears a strong resemblance to him. Then there's the one about him being a member of the Illuminati. Yep, like Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, and just about everyone else who's famous, Jay-Z supposedly belongs to a powerful cult that secretly runs the world. Okay, so we know that Queen Bee and Jay are mega icons and all, but they're not ruling the world, are they?
Yes, absolutely.
Number 4, Elvis faked his death. Often it takes a collective grieving process for fans to get over the deaths of artists they love. It's even more difficult when those idols die young or under tragic circumstances. Perhaps this is why so many fan theories have arisen around deceased musicians.
There have been tabloid sightings of Presley as well. Most of those are quite humorous.
One of the most popular posits that a given musician faked their death and is still alive. It's been said of Jim Morrison, Tupac, and most famously, Elvis Presley. People have been reporting sightings of Elvis alive and well for decades now.
Some claim he looks just as Elvis would have looked as an elderly man.
Some claim that the king has had to hide from organized crime. Others that he was really an alien and just went
Inside
home.
edition.
That last one is a nice
edition.
thought, we guess.
To Presley's near and dear, there is a cruelness to all the credence lent to the stories of Elvis still being alive.
Number 3, Phil Collins let a man drown. Out of all the conspiracy theories on our list, this one might have the most ardent believers in
Is
the
this the thing that Eminem cited in one of his songs?
Yes.
He's like, were you let that dude drown and then you called him out?
modern day. When rappers like Eminem are referencing the tale
Oh,
on
there we go.
songs released in the year 2000, you know this rumor has legs. It has to do with the Phil Collins solo track In the Air Tonight.
You know the song by Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight?
The song's lyrics are a metaphor for Phil's painful 1980 divorce, but fans for years have taken the words literally, concluding that the former Genesis frontman and drummer let a man drown.
Pause it. Here's the thing about guilt, right? And repressed guilt. It's so easy in hindsight to say, hey, man, it was really about me going through a very troubling time in a relationship that was very impactful for me. But isn't that exactly what someone would say who let someone drown, right? When confronted with the possibility.
That shit is a metaphor. And they're like, so when you said you took the gun and you put it in his mouth and pulled that trigger, so I'll go cross-eyed and fall over, like total metaphor. Total metaphor.
I was killing my ego. And this is where I blame spiritualism for everything. It's giving everyone a way out. No. That verse is about me killing my own ego. I was getting deep in regards to me being free. So wait, no, the lyric says you strangled him to death. Yeah, it's about my ego. I've been spending a lot of
I
time
need to let go of it. Strangle it and its breathing. Ario says, remember when she played a slave in the movie? Who were we talking about?
Mariah Carey. That was in
Did she play a slave? No way. No,
yeah, in the Butler movie with fucking Morgan Freeman. What? Not Morgan Freeman. What's this nigga's name with the crooked eye? What's the guy's name with the crooked eye, man?
Fucking Lauren. No, I was about to say Lawrence Richard. No. Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker, yes. The Butler. She played a slave who was sexually accosted in The Butler. Mariah Carey did.
Or in other versions, saw another man letting someone drown and then shined a spotlight on the guilty party at a concert while singing the song. Either way, it's not true.
That is the best story I've ever heard of.
I know. Unfortunately, none of it's true.
Number 2, Courtney Love was involved in the death of Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain, the leader of one of rock's most gifted and promising bands, Nirvana.
This is one of the most obvious lies I think ever pushed down our throats, allegedly. Whether or not she put the shotgun in his mouth, everyone's been in a relationship with someone who's made you feel like you should put a shotgun in your mouth, right?
But honestly, I'm going to get even more worse about this. If anyone has been in a relationship with someone who is mentally fragile, someone who like doesn't know left from right, and they're like, I don't know what to do. It is easy for a woman to manipulate that man to be killed.
Oh, 100%.
And so I would also like, I'm about to say it. I don't know if they're going to say it. They're probably not going to say it. I believe that both Courtney Love and Dave Grohl had something to do with this.
Oh.
And here's what I gotta say. I love the Foo Fighters and I love Hole. However, both of their albums,
yeah, go ahead.
Both their albums right after he died sounded more like Nirvana than anything. And later on, all their future albums didn't sound at all like it.
There's been no clear example of the deal made with Beelzebub in my mind than these two. When you think about deals made with the devil, it's like, hey, you have to offer something up. And Courtney and Homeboy are there together like, oh, we'll give up Kurt.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
He fits the bill, right? He's well, okay, until you watch the quote-unquote documentary where he claims to have slept with an autistic girl, right? But isn't that something your satanic friends who are trying to mar your...
Wait, who said that?
Oh, have you never watched the documentary about Kurt Cobain?
No.
Well, according to Kurt, if we're to believe this, Kurt admits to sleeping with an autistic girl.
I mean, obviously, I'd have to know before I judge him how far on the spectrum. You know what I mean?
I don't fucking know how far on the spectrum she was, bro. Like, he used the words autistic.
All right.
I mean, he's not a clinical psychologist.
He's done anything because, may God rest his soul, great dude, a great artist. I think he was mentally a mess his entire life, particularly when he was famous, particularly when he was married to Courtney Love, and people manipulated him. And I think both Dave Grohl and her manipulated him. This is personal. This is my personal opinion. I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm not saying I'm an investigator and I know that for a fact.
No, but it fits
this is
the
an
bill.
opinion from what I see, and I feel like they manipulated him. And when he finally died, whatever, they ended up with his music, and that's how Foo Fighters' Ray Gun was put out, and Hole's next album was.
So let me just blow your fucking mind, man. If there was a blueprint that was handed down, it was definitely Yoko Ono and your boy, right? John Lennon is a nice guy, loving guy, meets some random woman, and it's like the whole relationship tore the band up.
Yeah.
But could it not just as easily be conceived that Yoko Ono and what's this fucking Paul McCartney? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Is that motherfucker's name? The one that's mad at Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It's the same playbook. The best friend and the bitch. They got together, took them out. Same playbook.
Absolutely.
Wait, all right. So we played this one. I know this is fun. It's a lot of fun, right? But the one above it,
No, wait, let's finish this.
We're gonna finish this, but I want you to play the most evil music conspiracy theory after.
No, let's finish this right now.
I said after, motherfucker. After.
Is dead.
Some theories on this list boast internet chatter to their name, but very few of them have had full-scale books and docudramas based upon them. Grunge fans grieved when Kurt Cobain killed himself on April 5th, 1994, with many struggling to understand why the beloved figure ended his life in such a violent fashion. Cobain's struggles with addictions were well documented, but it wasn't long before theories.
He was a simp.
Yes, he was a simp. That's what I'm saying. She was able to manipulate him because he was a simp. No one wants to believe their hero is a simp, but he was a simp.
Arose that there was some sort of conspiracy behind his death.
And many others believe the lower four lines are completely different handwriting.
What, so they were added by someone else, possibly Courtney? Is that the suggestion?
Furthermore, some fingers pointed at Cobain's wife, Courtney Love. It's a conspiracy theory that's managed to endure for decades. Before we unveil our number one pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Klaatu were actually the Beatles. Their debut album was thought to be a Beatles album in disguise.
That's ridiculous.
Hotel California is satanic.
I
Does
believe
Church of
this one.
Satan founder Anton LaVey lurk within the Gatefold LP? Mama Cass choked on a sandwich, an offensive post-mortem theory based on the singer's weight. Rebecca Black's insight about JFK. Is Friday sung from JFK's perspective on the morning of his death?
Kicking in the front seat, sitting in the back seat.
Before we continue, be sure.
That is a good one. That is totally insane. That is fucking insane considering she made that song 30 years after this motherfucker was dead.
Perfect. The truth is out there. You just have to be willing to look, man. You have to be willing to look.
So let's see what the number one
Subscribe
is.
to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You'll have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Paul is dead. What's crazier than theories about deceased celebrities being alive? Well, how about the idea that a living celebrity is actually dead? Referred to as Paul is dead, this theory from Beatles fans claims that Paul McCartney died in the late 60s and was replaced by a lookalike.
The myth suggests the Beatles planted clues to...
Okay, this is nonsense.
Absolutely.
This is a stupid one. Why is this number one? Fuck this.
Play the other one, the evil one, right above it. Right above it.
Does it have Shook Knight on it?
Yes.
Most evil music conspiracy?
Yes. D says, I want someone to tell me what Hotel California is about. If it's about California, then it's most certainly about
satanic.
It's most certainly about Satan. There's no denying it. Anything to do with California, its governments, or its constituents, it always leads back to Satan. 100%. That's not even conjecture. That's not
Every time you hear it, you feel like an evil presence. It's not
if
very
if we had Satan on trial right now, and I said, "What about California?" Satan would be like, "Okay, you got me on that one."
Let's see what this one has to say.
Of a conspiracy theory spread like wildfire throughout the internet. This wasn't about Tupac still being alive or Jay-Z being a part of the Illuminati, but it questioned the very foundations of hip-hop itself. For many, it was a bit too believable to dismiss. In 2012, an anonymous letter was published on the blog Hip Hop is Red. The letter begins with, "After more than 20 years, I've finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society." The author of this letter had chosen to remain anonymous and leave out the names of all the individuals involved too. However, what we do know is that this person is from Europe and was a prominent executive in the music industry at the time. The letter goes on to say, "In early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of music business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. This meeting took place outside Los Angeles and involved 25 to 30 people. Although he noticed a lot of familiar faces in the room, some were not so familiar, and one of these unfamiliar faces began to tell him why they were invited. He explained that the companies we work for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. A lot of confused faces could be seen across the room, but he then clarified why music executives were needed to help with the private prisons industry. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more money the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares." Then the person explained that this was not just a lucrative business offering, but something their bosses wanted them to do. Our job would be to help make this happen by marketing music which promotes criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies. And as employees, we'd also be able to buy personal stocks in these prisons. A deafening silence hit the room. Finally, someone shouted, "Is this a effing joke?" and was taken outside. According to the author, some people tried to intervene, but then one of the security guards pulled out a gun. The author of this note signed a confidentiality agreement and was told that he would suffer the consequences if he leaked this information. If he blew the whistle on this, he would at least lose his job, and given that there were guns involved, something much worse could have happened. The writer of this letter left the music business 2 years later, allegedly, and returned to Europe. He tried to forget what happened, but lo and behold, hip-hop became more bloody and violent, and their plan seemingly worked to a T. The letter closes with, "20 years of guilt is a heavy load to carry, but the least I can do now is to share my story, hoping that fans of rap music realize how they've been used for the past 2 decades. Although I plan on remaining anonymous for obvious reasons, my goal now is to get this information out to as many people as possible." A lot of people instantly believe this theory. The plausibility of this conspiracy theory lies in the fact that private prisons and gangster rap came to prominence at roughly the same time. In the late 1980s, the prison population skyrocketed because of the war on drugs, and partially because of it, and President Reagan wanted to deal with
Wait, what? RM, you think that's fake? RM says...
That might have been in regards to the Paul McCartney thing.
Yeah, RM, ask your mom, Mantis. The Paul is dead conspiracy was a big deal at the time. Then she says fake. Yo, in terms of like, I don't think Paul McCartney shit is real. However, this is the thing we're watching right now is the most believable conspiracy we've seen yet. Do you agree with me on this? This is like
no, 100%. Motherfuckers not around there like gangster rap.
Oh, like, this is real right now.
The drug problem by locking up many people. As you can imagine, this move inevitably took its toll on state prisons. So the state decided to offload some of this burden onto private prisons. This environment led to the launch of America's 2 biggest private prison operators. In 1983, a company specializing in the management of private prisons called Corrections Corporation of America, which is today known as CoreCivic, came into business. A year later, Wackenhut Corrections Corporation, which is today known as GEO Group, also got in on the action. Central to this conspiracy theory is the fact that major investors in private prisons are also significant investors in the entertainment industry. The rapper Homeboy Sandman wrote an article about the company Vanguard Group Incorporated, which has increasingly become more popular in the past several years with other conspiracy theories. This corporation is the largest shareholder of Corrections Corporation of America and is also the third largest shareholder of GEO Group. Coincidentally, Vanguard is also the third largest shareholder in entertainment companies such as Viacom and Time Warner. Sandman then points out that the number one holder of both Viacom and Time Warner is a company called BlackRock. This investment company is also the second largest holder in Corrections Corporation of America, second only to Vanguard, and the sixth largest holder in GEO Group. This supports the theory that entertainment and private prisons are both intertwined, but as I'll get into later, it's a little bit more complicated than that. As privately owned prisons grew in the 80s, so did hip-hop, and there was a gradual switch from conscious hip-hop to gangsta rap. The politically charged lyrics of Public Enemy and KRS-One switched to more violent music like NWA. An article in the LA Times described this transition as Public Enemy had already helped redefine the genre by ushering in aggressively pro-black raps that were intelligent, socially aware, and politically charged, but NWA opted for an angrier approach. The group celebrated the hedonism and violence of gangs and drugs that turned neighborhoods into war zones, capturing it in brazen language soaked in explicitness. The best example of this switch happened to a rapper named Too Short. He told Hip Hop DX, "I noticed that at a certain point in hip-hop, the major labels stopped signing and promoting the positive artists, the ones that was just really positive. Positive images were hard to get out there. So I'm just saying that at some point, it wasn't that hip-hop changed on its own. It had a little push." He recalls one situation where he was literally told to push his music in a particular direction. "I wanted to do a whole album of positive Too Short songs, just to keep that balance. I had made a verbal deal with Barry Weiss, where he was like, right now would be a perfect time. You should do like the raunchiest Too Short album ever. The album cover, the songs. Just do a dirty effing Too Short album. This is the executive running the company advising me to put out an entire album of just cursing and sex." His follow-up album about positivity was never made. So Too Short is a verifiable witness of record labels deliberately trying to make music more violent. However, there are many holes in this tale of this quote-unquote secret meeting. This theory was discussed on the Dead End Hip Hop YouTube channel, where Mike C-Town pointed out some significant flaws. He explained that the meeting happened in 1992, and NWA's Straight Outta Compton and Ice-T's Power both came out in 1988. So the horse had already bolted by then. However, some would say that perhaps it started out organically, but they saw how they could profit on it and decided to accelerate it afterwards. That being said, the early 90s saw gangster rappers like Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and Cypress Hill come to the forefront as well. The blogger Norm Shriver pointed out that the secret poster of this letter didn't really do a good job at hiding his...
I don't know how much of this, and like that portion I buy into, like just little things, right? But I would definitely say that it shifted away from talent to bullshit, right? It shifted away from having the ability to wordsmith and wordcraft to, narratives being pushed. But I always maintain this, right? Hey, you okay?
Oh, man.
That one eye just went like the devil was channeling you right now.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No. I was about to go way too deep for where we're at in the show. Let's just finish this. What are your thoughts on this shit, man? We can get into this in a real Black Conspiracy episode.
I wish we had confronted this at the beginning of our episode, because there's so much to say about this particular one.
We can do a part two, man. We can do a part two.
We need to do a part two, because honestly, I have a lot to say about the corruption of hip hop and R&B, and all the things you're talking about record labels, man. There's so much to say about it, and it's funny they continue to do that. If people are wondering why the artistry is getting less and less in the hip hop world, and like we've got more and more mumble rappers not putting out artistry, but just talking about guns and sex and murder.
Yeah.
Well, that's an evolution of everything this guy is talking about right now.
Yeah, you bring us to the place of drill and then Lil Uzi Vert. I would not qualify Uzi Vert as drill, right? So your options now are you have Uzi Vert or you have drill music. You don't have Uzi Vert. I mean, if you go underground, independent, you can definitely find some conscious shit, right?
Right.
And you should. I implore people to find that type of music. But mainstream wise, it used to be you had conscious, gangster, and then like boo bap. And now you have Uzi Vert, pill popping bullshit, or drill music. So Mantis, let's get the fuck out of here. My guy has to be to work, unfortunately, tomorrow at 10 a.m. This sad, sorry son of a bitch.
I love Fanboy Modeling School. I love each and every one of you guys. This has been fucking amazing. If you are somebody who has visited Steve over in Nautilus, but not Mantis, fuck you. Fuck you. However, you can fix that by going to Nautilus, going to Hot 95 at 4 p.m. through 8 p.m. and just visit me. See what's up, yo. Holler at your boy, yo. Although I'm not trying to say discourage against my man Steve, because my man Steve, he's the spin doctor.
I appreciate everyone supporting us, man. We will be back. I'll be back, obviously, Wednesday night for a pillow talk, 10 p.m., 10:30, with the Pink Princess Bex, owned, operated by the Pink Princess, and we're going to be talking about losing your virginity.
Oh, God, you fucking animals, yo.
No, we're not telling people to lose their virginity. We're going to be telling tales of
I'm saying the topic is always fucking loose, man.
It's called pillow talk. What do you want us to talk about? More
No, pillow talk is where after I bang a chick, we cuddle, and I'm like, so, you like stuff? And she's like, not really. I'm like, cool. And then we stay silent for a while. And somehow Bex has made it pillow talk is about talking about the clit and talking about yada, yada, yada. And which motherfuckers ain't shit. I can't even deal with it.
Wait, you should come by for a pillow talk. You specifically. We're gonna be talking about the people we lost our virginity to and how we lost it.
I mean,
Bex says, "Wait, virginity is loose."
I'm saying I know that like your subjects always seem like no, where you're like, let's talk about virginity. I know it's gonna go to a loose place, if you know what I mean. But yo, if you want to invite me to your podcast, I'll talk about it first time. I'm still going to therapy over it.
Yo, let's let this man get to bed. I'm going to sleep. Tomorrow, you got me and Mantis on Autolist at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.
Jump between us, or if you have two devices, remember to go into one or the other. Yeah, honestly, I don't care if you listen to me. Just lower your sound and let me get that view. Let me get that view. But seriously, that's fucked up that a bunch of you went over to Steve. Oh, trust me, they all fucking did. D and all of them, they're like, oh, we love the hip hop. We fucking hate the pop. Mantis an ass. We don't like this nigga. That's what they said, yo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because if this nigga drops me down like he did last week, power hungry motherfucker.
I love you all. We've had a great show. Fuck the establishment.
Right. Don't drop me down, bro.
I'm not. No, there's only love right now. Or the haters or our viewers for not coming to motherfucking shows, man. You don't want to hear Taylor Swift's latest?
Oh, wait, real quick. For you comics enthusiasts, you short story loving people, maybe you didn't know this. Mantis is a writer. I'm a writer, and I have actually written something or in the process of writing something, and I haven't written in years. I'm writing a little fan fiction that I've been sharing with people, man. I've been having a good time writing it, and the few people I've shared it with have enjoyed it, if they're being honest with me. But I'm going to drop that because I'm actually almost finished with it. I was sharing it with Mantis, Bex, and Big Cat, the first few chapters in short story form. and I actually finished it. So hey, open that eye. I'm
awake.
I'm gonna share the finished project if people want to check it out, man. Fuck you, Mantis. Son of a bitch.
Can't wait to see the final product. I loved what's happened so far.
All right. Good night, y'all.
We love you all. Don't be dicks. Come to Mantis' show as well. I only started this Nautilus shit, but whatever. Fuck you, haters. And also, yo, the white man forced us into prisons, man. Think about that shit. Think about